yes, I'm fresh to death. I'm Paul Berry, not at all scary. When I open like Fetty Wops, then find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like them other guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase. Yeah. Bubba C. Yeah. Rick flaring on them. Rick flaring on them. Rick flaring on them. Rick flaring, son up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack, Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the Swac, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts, my advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeant is with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered a leash. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? You already know what it is. Happy Monday. Okay, you know, Monday afternoon, you already know what it is. Appreciate y'all very much for tuning in. You already know. Back with another one, as I always do. Listen, very eventful weekend for me, okay? I had my baby shower. Yes. Drop a couple bombs for the baby shower, right? Had a baby shower. Went rail. Dallas Cowboy themed.
I'm standing on business.
We only rock one team in this house. Well, my daughter, she likes Justin Jefferson. She likes the Vikings, but that doesn't count. All the men in the family are only allowed to root for the Cowboys. The females, you are welcome to do whatever you want. Okay? You know what I'm saying? You are welcome to do whatever you so please. But the men in this family, have one team and one team only. That's the Dallas Cowboys. Just want to make that very clear in this also. So I had a good. Listen. One thing about family is something's always going to pop off when it comes to family. I'm not going to, I can't really talk about it, but I just want to say, like, it's always something with family. It's always something with family. Jesus Christ, man. I swear to God. It's always something. You can't help it. You just can't help it. It's always when you get a bunch of Negroes together, something always pops off. And I don't play about mine, but it is what it is. Now, we had a great time, had some great food. Listen, had some really great food. Now, I don't know who put what in what food, but all I know is we had the baby shower Saturday. Listen, this might be TMI. It might be TMI, but y'all my peoples. This might be TMI. But I did not have a full night's rest. I swear for God, if anybody is lactose intolerant, like, I feel for y'all. Okay? I really feel for y'all. I was on the toilet from like Saturday at midnight all the way until like Sunday at like 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, I couldn't get no full night's rest. As soon as I would lay down, my stomach would be like, blugga, 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 blugga. I was like, oh my God. Listen, I feel for you Bamas who are lactose intolerant, because listen, I don't know what. Listen, nothing happened. Nobody else had that problem. Okay? Nobody else had that problem but me. But the thing that led up to it was my stomach was on a very, very, very finicky line. Like, I was telling Key all week, like, babe, I don't know what's going on with my stomach. Like, my stomach is like, people, listen, when your body is telling you, don't play with me. If you've been there, when your body is telling you, don't play with me. It could be like a muscle. It could be your back. It could be your neck. It could be whatever that aches. And it's like, keep playing with me. I'm going to show you I'm not going to work. Okay. And my stomach all week had been telling me, keep playing with me. Like, stop eating out, right? Like, stop dilly-dallying. Like, just, you better get right. Okay. Fruits, veggie, bread, like, keep it low key. Cause I had been going to Sonic. I have been doing like Burger King. I have been doing like just wild stuff. I just been wilding, like eating out. I'm telling you, my stomach, I swear to God, mentally, my stomach was telling me, like, keep playing with me and I'm going to show you what it's about. And once again, I ate all that food at the baby shower. We had baked beans, mac and cheese, fried chicken, baked chicken, pasta salad. Listen, here, we had a whole fruit bowl. We had a whole fruit table. I ain't touching none of it. Had a whole fruit table. I ain't touched none of it. I had like 4 Faygo lemon limes. Listen, man, my stomach was like, okay, let's play. Like, you wanna play? Let's play. Man, I swear to listen. And Key was just over there sleeping so peacefully. She was just like, stomach and all, just out there. And I swear, it felt like every 20 minutes I was getting up on the toilet. And I just like, and it's bad when you on the toilet with no clothes. not a short. You don't want no clothes on you. Not a t-shirt, not shorts, no socks. You just like, I need to be free because it's just so much pain. you just having life decisions. Like, what is going on right now? Oh my God, it was bad. It was so bad. So I missed church and everything because I wasn't about to go to church like that. God wasn't about to just, no, it's no way I was going to be in. I couldn't even concentrate on praise and worship because my stomach would have been like, I told you. So, yeah. Whoo, listen. But I'm good now. Hey, listen. I don't know. Whoever made Imodium Them little small Imodium pills, and they a genius, bro. They are flat out genius. Cause anytime my stomach acts up, Key give me them 2 little small Imodium pills. I'd be like, the first time she gave it to me, because my stomach was just upset. It wasn't like, but it was just upset. She was like, babe, I'm telling you, take this. I'm like, what this little ass pill what these little pill gonna do? Boy, you pop 2 of them Imodiums, boy, your stomach feel like a brand new person. Okay, it's like taking like ibuprofen 800 for your stomach. It's like taking ibuprofen 800 for your stomach, though. Like it's just like you feel like your stomach is amazing. Like it's just like nothing's wrong with your stomach anymore. I love them things. I'm telling you, everything. They everything. Whoever makes them, I'm buying stock. Okay, whoever makes them, I'm buying stock. It's just. I'm gonna see you on the New York Stock Exchange. I'm buying stock. All right, but listen. Elite 15 Coffee. It's always a sponsor in this video. They didn't keep me on the toilet, but they will keep you up in the middle of the day if you need it. Elite 15 Coffee, Black-owned, veteran-owned business. Get your coffee today. The Elite 15 Coffee link is in the description below. Make sure you support. And also, still on the road to 300. I have not updated this slide. I think we're like 255 or 260. I know Key's gonna be like, how many times you gonna say you didn't update the slide? Babe, I'm sorry, I didn't update the slide. Okay, so I think we had 260 right now. So 40 more. Listen, pay your tithes and offerings. Okay, pay your tithes and offerings. You've come into the Offscript congregation. Don't just attend the church and then walk out and leave. Okay, just don't attend the church and walk out and leave like ain't nothing happened. Okay, pay your tithes and offerings. Pay your tithes and offerings. All right, pay your tithes and offerings. Here we go. Now. Okay. Listen, let me blow myself up so y'all can see me. For all you ninjas who be texting me and DMing me talking about your transfers, listen, I will do it in June. I swear for God, I've gotten over 30 messages. Scotty, when you gonna do transfer eval? Scotty, when you gonna break down film on this person? Scotty, when you gonna break down? I will do transfer evaluations in June. Everybody's been jumping ship. Everybody's been coming on, off, on, off, off, on, off. Listen, June, I will start back with transfer evaluations, all right? So let me say this. I'm going to start off with Lido and Sports' top, I think he has like a top 10 of transfers in the Swac and FCS, you know what I'm saying? So that would be I'm going through that whole list first, okay? So, and you already know, ain't no Ohio State players. You know why I don't do transfer evaluations? Because you got Zoe and the whole mass meeting, they're going to tell you all the lovely facades about all the great players that they done brought in and how they going to go 10 and they're going to go 13 and 0 and I don't want to hear all that, okay? So they're going to tell you all the facades and fairy tale stats that their players are going to put up. So I don't do Ohio State players. Don't ask me. I don't do it, period. Go to the mass meeting. Let them tell you all the wonderful, because anything I say that's going to critique, you're going to say, Scotty, you're hating. So why waste my time, okay? Why waste my time, your time, everybody's time? Let's just continue, okay? So go over there for Ohio State players for the mass meeting. Come over here if you're looking for some breakdowns, all right? So I'm going to get back to that in the transfer evaluation. We'll go through Lido's top 10 or top 15 that he has, and then I'm going to get to all the onesies and twosies. Let me help you PV fans out, okay? All 12 of y'all. That new quarterback, I got a call today. The Cooley kid that y'all done brought in, I got a call today. Somebody told me straight up, Scotty, he has never seen the field anywhere he's gone.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Now, I looked at his post. It's got over 100,000 views and all this and requotes and retweets and repops and all type of stuff. The Bama has never seen the field anywhere he's gone. I'm just saying. But that's for all 12 of you fans. So maybe that will help in your evaluation of him as well. All right, and last but not least, listen, man, I got to give such a special thank you to all the subscribers. To all the special thanks to all the subscribers. Oh, there's a head. Listen, you already know if Blue confirms it, it's 100% gold, right? I just wanted to say thank you. Special thanks. First, Monty. Thank you, my guy. AD Keisha Campbell. Thank you so much. Listen, Miss Tara Lynn. You gotta text me you gotta text me on the text number. You gotta text me your address. I gotta put you on my Christmas list. Miss Tara Lynn. And listen, all these, everybody, Miss Fly Gray Street, Mr. Nash, Mama Body, all you guys, thank you so much for your giving. Thank you so much for your gifts, your presents, and stuff like that. But I gotta really shout out Miss Tara Lynn. Miss Tara Lynn, she got some big stuff. I'm talking about like packing plays, car seats, like the stuff that you really like. You be like, oh man, I really don't want to buy. Shout out to Miss Tara. Listen, I got to get her on my Christmas list. I don't give a damn what she's talking about. I got to get her on my Christmas list. She was such a blessing. Everybody on this list was a blessing. Let me just say that. Monty with his cash donation, Miss Fly Gray Street with her gift, Mr. Nash with his gift, Mama Body always comes through for us, and AD Keisha Campbell, she surprised me. She texted me and said, hey, you gonna have some stuff coming in the mail. I got both of those. Thank you so much, Miss Campbell. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for all your giving and blessing us. And let me just keep it a buck with y'all, man. Like, I know, like Key always says, like, because Key be like, people ask Key like, does Scotty have friends? And she be like, yeah, on YouTube. Like all Scotty's friends are YouTube, right? Digital friends, right? But for real, like what's so touching is that the people that you see in this list did more for me than my own like extended family, right? Like my mom got me stuff and got the baby stuff, but like I'm an only child, so I ain't got no siblings or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But these people and the individuals that, Mike and Karina, my best man, Derek, he flew in from New York to be at the baby shower because he's the godfather of Deuce, my son coming, you know what I'm saying? He flew in and stuff like that. So it really means a lot to me that you guys see me as an extension of your families and you're willing to give to my family. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to tell y'all, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if anybody else wants to give, the links are always in the description below. If it crosses your heart, any donation or whatever, Cash App, however you want to do it, we are very much appreciative and we thank you for all the support. But I just want to tell y'all thank you from the bottom of my heart and of you guys being family. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. All right. I really, truly appreciate it. Before I start this show, I am burning up. I'm going to open my window and we will get it popping. Hey, listen, don't talk about my shorts. I went golfing today. And did a little golf. You see got my golf glove, you know what I'm saying? I do a little Tiger Woods. Or as Ken Coleman would say, Tiger wish he could, you know what I'm saying? I do a little, so I do a little something on the something. All right, now listen, man. Here we go. Now, let's talk about it. Don't worry about what I shoot. Why you asking the wrong question? I went out there and had fun, okay? Okay? Don't ask me what I shoot. Okay? Okay? Don't ask me what I shoot. Actually, yesterday I did 18 and I shot a 98. And I haven't played in 3 years, okay? So I want to be very clear about that. I haven't played in 3 years. I shot a 98, which I'm pretty proud of. Okay, I'm pretty proud of. Today, I only did 9, and I think I shot like think I was like 12 over. No, I was way more than that. Probably 15 over. I was probably like 15 over. Because the first 4 holes was killing me. Okay, they killed me. The last 5, I kind of got. I went like par, bogey, double bogey, something like that. So you know what I'm saying. So yeah, not too bad. You know what I'm saying? Not too bad. Let me work the king side. I get it right. But let's talk about Sean John Combs. I'm not calling this Bama Diddy. You don't deserve no more nicknames. I really want to hear from y'all, and your guys. The call lines are open. I really want to hear from y'all when you first saw the video. What was your reaction to it, right? Because for me, it left me so speechless watching it, and I'm gonna play it. And I hope anybody who's gone through domestic violence, please, this is my warning before I play the video. I don't want to trigger anything or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I just was like, first of all, let me back up. I knew he did it. Okay, like before the video came out and Cassie sent that long lawsuit in civil court, whatever, I knew he did it because he paid too fast. Oh, he paid way too fast for me, right? I knew he did it. She did. It wasn't even 48 hours. She filed the lawsuit. 48 hours later, he paid her, and the thing went away. So I knew he did it. I didn't know what was done, but I knew it was something. But what killed me, let me take y'all somewhere with me, and I just want y'all to think for a minute. For me, this is how my mind processed. I saw the video. I'm happy the video came out, but this is my question. This was my question. This was 2016 when this video was played. How does nobody get this footage for the last 7 to 8 years? And then all of a sudden, here it is. Now, I'm not mad that it came out because it deserved to be seen. But the first thing I thought about was Ray Rice. The first thing I thought about was Ray Rice and how Ray Rice, remember, if anybody remembers the Ray Rice situation, all it was rumors that he and his wife got into a domestic dispute. He got 2 game suspension. Everybody remember that? He got 2 game suspension. Then the video came out, and then he never played football ever again. Right? They had footage from the elevator that came out. TMZ got it and everything like that. You're talking from 2016. TMZ couldn't get it. The Shade Room couldn't get it. All these mega entities that are big into gossip that get their hands on some of the most exclusive. Listen, TMZ got footage from Kobe Bryant's wreck at the helicopters. Like that, the helicopter crashed. They got the footage like 3 to 4 hours later. What I'm trying to get people to understand, this is how my mom said, you don't got to understand it, you're going to agree with me. But how I viewed it is like, how does this video go hidden for 8 years? 8 years. And then all of a sudden, here it is. But here's the video that started it all. Listen. There's nothing else you can tell me. There's nothing else you can tell me. And when I say this is this, if one story matches on that civil case, everything else to me is golden. Everything else had to happen. The prostitution, the sex stuff, the passing around, making her sleep with guys, and all that stuff matters to me, right? All that stuff matters to me, but I think it goes even deeper, and we're not going to get into it because I think it's a lot of mental state and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, everything she put on that thing to me is A1, is absolutely A. I believe it all. I absolutely believe it all. And to me, Like how can anybody be associated? How can anybody from this point forward put their name in the same breath as Sean Combs? How there's nothing that you can do to get your, like, let me say this. It is not easy coming back from domestic violence. Ask Chris Brown. If there was a video, because the pictures was damning enough. The girl went on Oprah. Chris Brown was 2 seconds away from being canceled. Okay, I'm so serious. And if anybody remembers that whole time period, like, Bam was like, I'm not listening to Chris Brown. I'm not listening to Chris Brown. And then Chris Brown came out with Deuces, and then Chris Brown became Chris Brown again, right? But there was no video. Like, it was always he said, she said, like, she spit on him and was kicking him and hitting him, but you saw the pictures of Rihanna's face or whatever. If there was video proof of what Chris Brown what Chris Brown did do to Rihanna, who's to say Chris Brown is even here at this point, right? Like, he's still what he is. The video evidence of the situation just makes this so damning. It's not even funny. And to me, there should be no celebrity that could partner, no brand, no celebrity that could partner with Diddy, Sean Combs, after this situation. Now, listen, man, sometimes I feel like, sometimes I would say some things are just better left unsaid. Me personally, I don't think there's a public apology that could have done anything, but this is Diddy's public apology.
Reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab.
I said the same thing. It was just a month ago that he was coming out with a statement talking about he didn't do it, he's innocent, he's all this. Now all of a sudden you going through therapy. Now all of a sudden you was at the darkest time in your life. Now, man, I swear to God, nobody can keep up with these lies. He had just made a statement, literally.
Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Bro, like, and see, the thing about it is you didn't even apologize to the victim. Like, who are you apologizing to? Are you apologizing to the public? Because I didn't get kicked by you. I didn't get a vase thrown at me. I didn't have you chasing me down the hotel room with a towel. Don't apologize to us. You didn't even apologize to Cassie. Like, I hate what I did to Cassie. I apologize, and yeah, not one. Who are you apologizing to? I gotta hear. I'm sorry. I gotta hear this again. I'm sorry. This don't make no sense.
Quote, to reflect on the darkest times in your life.
So you don't think it was a dark time for Cassie? If that's not trying to play victim, it's hard to reflect on the darkest time of your life. What about Cassie? She got a whole husband. She about to have a baby. And now she got to look on CNN, MSNBC, The Pivot talking about it. Everybody's talking about it, but you don't want to relive the darkest time of your life, but you the one kicking and throwing the vase at Cassie. But it was the darkest time of your life. Wow. Okay.
Sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Your behavior on the video is inexcusable. But at no point in time did you say the way I treated Cassie was inexcusable. I'm sorry.
I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
You take responsibility because at the end of the day, you can't get tried for it. Because it had already passed the limits. It's the statute of limitations, but let's continue. I'm sorry.
I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help.
You were disgusted then like you're disgusted now.
Surveillance
I'm sorry.
that seemed to match a lawsuit filed by Ventura
You really?
in November last year and settled the next day.
And then Drat, you're just come on, man. I'm sorry. I'm done. It don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense to me. That Bama should be under the jail, okay? That Bama should be under the jail. Him and all his cronies, his son, all them Bamas under the jail. What did Kendrick say? You better never go to cell block 1. Oh, that Bama, him, Drake, all of them. Baca, Chubbs, Diddy Jr. I don't give it. All them Bamas need to be under the jail. It's crazy. Listen, at the end of the day, y'all, I know a lot of you guys hear about the Illuminati and all that stuff. Listen, man. Do I think there is a world power that is evil? I absolutely do. I'm not going. Y'all can argue with a brick wall, okay? If you gonna look at me and say, Scotty, you crazy? Well, just call me crazy, okay? I think there's a world power that's evil. I think people in some of these high positions are just flat out evil. Are there things in the world that some people can't explain that just happens? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But in this situation, hiding this video for 8 years or however, listen, man. Illuminati, Kalani, I don't know what they call themselves. But at the end of the day, it's to me, I just think I feel like New Jack City is bigger than Nino, okay? It's bigger than Sean. I just honestly believe that. Joe, coming to you.
Hello, I don't know which one worse. I don't know who worse. All right, Kelly. What's the name? Sean Combs, P. Diddy, whatever the name is.
Who's worse? Nah, I mean, they could both be under the jail for my pleasure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think they've been had to take. This is what I'm thinking. When the feds raided his house, they couldn't really find nothing to stick to him. So they had to let that tape out now because they know that tape is going to destroy him. He ain't going to be able to do nothing else in the music industry. Nothing, period. And I think that's what happened. They've been had the tape. Cassie she had a copy. Had a copy. And I think the feds ain't have nothing on him. So they say, well, let's drop this tape. We can't get him for it, but it'll destroy his career. He can't do nothing else. And I think that's why they dropped the tape. I'm gone.
I appreciate it. I mean, it's a smart play. If that's the case with the fans and they getting it, it's a smart play. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we can't charge you for it, but you're never going to work in this place. You're never going to work in this town again. Like Hollywood is done with Diddy. Hollywood is done. And listen, if you don't watch Sloan Bella, The lady who be prophesying on YouTube, Sloan Bella, white lady. She like I know half you Bammers done seen her. I love her. Sloan Bella. She prophesied that Diddy was gonna go down. She said the next person is Justin Bieber. I'm just sitting here waiting. It's like a movie. I'm just sitting here waiting. Okay. So if you don't follow Sloan Bella, you are living under a rock. She on TikTok and YouTube. Okay. You better go check out some of her videos. She's like a median / prophet. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right. Let's move on. All right. I had to talk about that. It's just crazy. All right. Listen. This has taken Black Twitter or HBCU Twitter by storm. Shout out to Lionel. He made this. I wanted to make sure he got all his credit. PV versus everybody. If you don't know his YouTube channel, go over there and check it out. But this Swac head coaching ranking has taken the world by storm. Man, you talking about ruffle some feathers? Woo! Feathers were ruffled. Okay, feathers were ruffled. Now, the next slide, I'm going to show you his list, and then I'm going to show you my list on top of this, right? So, here we go. Now, this is Lionel. This is his list. This is what he posted on Twitter, right? Number 1 coach, Bubba McDowell, right? Number 2, Eddie Robinson Jr. Number 3, TC Taylor. Number 4, Little Bill. Little Bill, number 4. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Number 5, Mickey Joseph. Number 6, Cedric Thomas. Number 7, Terrence Graves. Number 8, James Cozy. Number 9, Alonzo Hampton. Number 10, Kendrick Wade. Number 11, Connell Maynard. You talking about you put Kendrick Wade over Connell Maynard? That's so disrespectful. I said Connell Maynard should be fired just off this list alone. If somebody could have the audacity to put this Bama at number 11, he deserves to be fired. Deserves to be fired, okay? And Chris Dishman, that's the new coach at Texas Southern. Now, everybody has something to say. Everybody's here, there, everywhere. Now, as I like to say, listen, if you got something to say it and then do your own list, right? Because all you Bama's got opinions. All you Bama's got something to say. So make your own list. So what do? I made my own list. Here we go. Now, this is my list. And I messed it up because I put 2 names twice. My bad. So all the numbers are jacked up. Listen, I was rushing. I apologize. I'll be on CPT. Okay. So number 1, number 2 is pretty self-explanatory. I would agree with that. Bubba and Eddie, right? Bubba and Eddie, I would agree with that. The Mickey Joseph one, I think I wanted to do something else right there. I don't want to go Mickey Joseph that high. TC Taylor, number 4, I'm good with. Connell Maynard, number 5, I'm good with. Cedric Thomas at number 6, I'm good with. I think Mickey Joseph at 7 makes more sense to me. Raymond Woody at number 8 is, I mean, yeah. James Cozy at number 9, Alonzo 10, 11. I mean, yeah, some of this stuff is just, to me, kind of self-explanatory. It's not really hard. Yeah, number 1 and number 2 have to be right. I mean, there's no other person that you can put at number 1 other than Bubba McDowell. It don't even literally make sense, right? No, I didn't want Graves at 3. I definitely didn't want no Terrence Graves at 3. All right, Terrence Graves would have been like 12 or something like that. I don't know. All these, yeah. Let me say this: after your top 6, it's just ass from there. Okay, it's just ass from there. So let me see. I would go. Let me fix this. Bubba McDowell, number 1. Number 2, Eddie Robinson. I probably would have gone. I just can't do TC Taylor at number 3. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Oh, Jesus Christ. This list is so bad. These coaches are just ass. I mean, these coaches are just ass, if I'm being honest. You know what? No, it gotta be. Yeah, it gotta be TC. Because you can't, it gotta be TC at number 3. It gotta be TC at number 3. It has to be. Now you might go and you could just bump everybody up one. Yeah, you can pretty much just bump everybody up one. So I probably, the only one that I really had a problem with is I wouldn't put Terrence Graves over Cozy. So I would move Cozy up to 7, and then I will probably move Terrence Graves to 9. That's where I would put Terrence Graves. So I would put, if I bumped everybody up, I would move Cozy up and then move Terrence Graves to number 9. But my at the end of the day, everybody after 6 is just like if I'm being honest, like Raymond Woody, Cozy, I mean not Cozy, Alonzo, Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of I think the hardest thing was, let me be real with y'all. The hardest thing to me was Cedric Thomas and Connor Maynard and where you put them, right? Because you could make a case of Cedric Thomas jumping over Connor Maynard because of what Cedric did to rebuild UAPB, right? So you can give him that. And I mean, if we're being honest, the only real thing that Connor Maynard can stand on is a spring championship where he played 4 games. It just is what it is. And listen, it's a great point. What has Eddie Robinson won? He hasn't won anything. He's just beat his rival every since he's gotten to the conference. He's beat his rival. His team has gotten better every year, right? And he's recruiting his ass off, and now they're in competition to be. I mean, Willie Simmons leave, and now they're runner up to be SWAC East champions. What else do you want me to say? I mean, who else can you put in front of him? You can't put TC Taylor in front of him. He doesn't have his resume. You can't put Connell Maynard in front of him because he's been whooping Connell Maynard's ass. You can't put Cedric Thomas in there. You can't put Mickey Joseph in there. TC Taylor at 3 is because of everybody else being ass. That's really what it comes down to. If we're being honest, that's the only reason TC Taylor's even. If Connell Maynard beats TC last year, I put Connell Maynard over TC Taylor. That's it. TC did. Oh my gosh, y'all ninjas can't read, and I hate to say that in this day and age. All black, you can't read. It says SWAC head coach ranking. Why would I use his OC experience? And if we're being even more technical, the Ninja didn't even call plays last year. So the reason he got the job, he didn't even do the job. Miss me with that. So no, I'm not going to use, he won the MEAC. Hell, I'm not using that. That's a cop-out. He won the MEAC. Man, sit your dumb ass down. You know what I'm saying? So if we're being a whole buck, right? If we're keeping it a whole buck, Bubba, Eddie, TC, I like Cedric Thomas over Connell Maynard. If I'm being honest, I even like Mickey Joseph over Connell Maynard. So realistically, I could go 1 Bubba, 2 Eddie, 3 TC, 4 Cedric, 5 Mickey, and 6 Connell Maynard. And then everybody after that is just ass. Everybody after that is just ass. And if you're talking about Scotty Watt, Mickey Joe, he at least coached at Nebraska. It was Nebraska. So, I mean, goddamn, like, when has TC Taylor ever coached anything else? He has not. Cedric Thomas has been a head coach before and was successful at UAPB. It's UAPB. How many other these coaches would have turned around UAPB? You know what I'm saying? So, but Raymond Woody being in the top 5 or anything is just absolutely asinine. Lionel, I see you in the chat. You got to call in and explain that, my guy. You gotta call in and explain to me how Raymond Woody, Little Bill, is top 5 in anything. That don't make no sense. You put him over Cedric Thomas, who's done better than him at UAPB. His record at UAPB was better than Raymond Woody at Bethune. And if we're being honest, if you want to go off prestige, Bethune-Cookman is more prestigious than UAPB. So UAPB is a harder job and still did better. There's no freaking way that Raymond Woody should be top 5 in anything. Listen, I'm not mad at Alonzo Hampton. I think Alonzo Hampton being 9 isn't bad. Terrence, if I'm being honest, Terrence Graves could be 11. Terrence Graves could really be 11. Like, he should be second to last. You know what I'm saying? So if we're being honest, like, Terrence Graves should be 12 or 11. I agree. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But I can't ignore his resume. I can't ignore it. Like, I can't say, you know what, I don't like the spring championship, so I'm not going to count it. That's life. It happened. He won it. If he didn't win it, then we'd be crushing him because he didn't win it. Right? So you got to give it to him because he earned it. Regardless of the fact. But so yeah. It just is what it. But the fact of the matter is Maynard losing to a brand new coach in a rivalry game, to me, is so. It's. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. If you're an Alabama A&M fan, you really have to think about how Eddie Robinson came in as he was a real estate agent. He was a real estate agent before he became a coach in the Swac and is now ranked as number 2. Number 2. That's fireable. I'm sorry. That's fireable. That's fire. If that ain't fireable, I don't know what is. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's just bad. It's just bad. This is bad all the way around. But we'll see. Listen, if Willie Simmons was still in the Swac, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. If Willie Simmons was still in the Swac, he'll be number 1, number 2, and number 3. He would be, listen to me very. It would have been disrespectful to even put Willie Simmons on this list because he's just better than all these jokers. He's better than all these jokers, right? He would have been 1, 2, and 3. The next Bubba McDowell would have been 4. Okay, we would have started the list at 4. Who's the 4th best coach? Okay, is Bubba McDowell. Who's the 5th best coach? Eddie Robinson. Like it wouldn't. That's how dominant Willie would have been. First, second, and third. Don't even get on the podium with Willie. He got the gold, the silver, and the bronze. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how dominant it would have been. If Deion was still in the SWAC, you still got to put Willie at 2. You got to put Willie at 2. It would be Deion number 1, Willie number 2. I mean, that's just crazy. If you want to give Deion 1 and 2, you got, okay, give him 3. But, you know, it is what it is. But It's gonna be crazy. I'm excited. I'm excited what this list looks like at the end of the season, right? Because oh man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild to watch. I think somebody asked the question. What does this say about SWAC coaching? SWAC coaching is ass. Can I just say that? I'm sorry. Like, and I know a lot of HBCU coaches be like, Scotty, we got so, and they do. They have multiple jobs. They don't have the help. They don't have the staff and whatever. But my issue is thank you so much, Wake. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. My question is this. So how can Willie just be so dominant? I'm sorry. Like, if you put somebody in the same scenario and he just is head and shoulders above the rest, that means the rest of you go because you're not good. You're just not good, right? And I think everybody has their flaw in this. I really do. I think everybody has their flaw in this. Like, I can go down each one of these guys and tell you what their, I'll do that. So here we go. Bubba McDowell, right? Bubba McDowell's flaw is this. One, he does not understand offenses, so they look really mundane. And two, his defenses are super, super, super simple. They're not complex. They're not detailed at all. They literally run base all game. So when you go against high level offenses, you're not going to be good. You either have to be better than them, just flat out more talented than them, or you don't win. Eddie Robinson, once again, does not understand offenses at all. Very stubborn, right? Very stubborn, but does not understand offenses at all. So it's like you fire one head coach to bring in another head coach. Bring in an offensive-minded guy. So now you're trying to turn your team into a 90s style football team, which is run the ball, and pass when it's convenient. To me, I don't think that's going to be very successful, in my personal opinion. But hey, when the other teams are so bad talent-wise, then you might just pull it out. Mickey Joseph, I don't really know much about his style, so I'll move on. TC Taylor. I think offensively they just didn't know what they had. No identity, right? You had no identity with Jackson State last year. You didn't know if they want to run the ball. You didn't know if they wanted to pass the ball. They had no identity. And then defensive wise, they were just lost. Defensively, they were just lost. You could say, oh, Scotty, we had the most picks or whatever. Your front seven was ass. And I told you it was going to be ass because you ran, a 3-3-5 or something stupid, like a flex 3-3-5, 4-3, didn't want to go press man, didn't have the DNs, just straight confused. Connell Maynard, his issue, his program is toxic. Listen to what I'm telling you. His program is toxic. Every time I talk to a player that has left that program, they're like, man, Scotty, I really enjoyed A&M. I love Huntsville. But the program is toxic. The coaches on some of the coaches on staff are toxic. It is just a bad culture down there at A&M. Very simple with that. Raymond Woody don't know offense. Like, you got a whole bunch of defensive-minded guys that don't know how to hire offensive coordinators, nor do they know how to evaluate talent to go find what they need to be successful in their scheme. And this is why I keep telling y'all, Bama's, why Willie Simmons is so great, is because he went through 3 different quarterbacks with 3 different styles and was whooping ass in every one of them. Missed me with that. James Cozy, we'll see what he ends up being. Alonzo Hampton, he was a micromanager. Like, bro, you can't go into every single game swapping out your quarterback. You cannot go into every single game swapping out your quarterback like he was changing quarterbacks like he was changing draws. Like, it just did not make sense. And then he'll get on Then he will get on the little Swac conference call, calling out his quarterbacks, calling out his team. Like, bro, you cannot do that. And the reason I hate when coaches do that is because if a player got on the platform and called you out, you would kick him out of the program. And I can't stand when coaches use their weight around the Kendrick Wade. Listen, man, I just think he took a bad job. I'm gonna just keep it real. I know he's a Valley alum and stuff like that. Like, I don't think he's ready to be a head coach at Valley. Like, it's a lot. Let me explain to you what a lot means, right? You're in a tough situation when Dancy was going like 4-7 and 3-8, and you're like, damn, that was good coaching. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's how tough this program is. And I don't think it takes a certain type of person to be built for Valley. I do not care if you're an alum. It has nothing to do with nothing. You might understand the situation. Don't mean you can coach it. Don't mean you can recruit it. Don't mean you're going to. I'm telling you right now, what Dancy was doing at Valley will probably never be seen again for the next. And he didn't even have a winning record, but that's how damn good he is. That's how damn good Dancy was, is that every time you played Valley, you knew it was going to be a hard game. You knew you were going to have to fight, claw, and scratch to come out of there with a victory. Every time you played them. Now, it's like a walk in the park. It's like playing it's like playing a rec team. You got an AAU team and you go down and play rec ball. You're like, all right, let's run these stats up. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's run these stats up. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. It's not the same. And Chris Dishman, we'll see what he ends up becoming, right? So, and somebody asked me about McNair. I think McNair is just stubborn. That's his problem. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a damn good coach. He's stubborn. Let me, and I'll tell you how stubborn he is. I knew Elliott Rotten needed to be fired the second year I was in the SWAC. I did the spring season. The next year, so I did that short spring season. The next year, I'm watching All Court, and I'm like, what in God's green earth are they calling? Like, why are they doing that? Now, mind you, this is when they had number 5 and G, help me out. They had number 5. I love that kid. He was like a kind of like a scat back type of player, right? Then they had Stafford. They had number 5. They had Felix. They had CJ Bowler, Nico Duffy. Thank you, G. They had Nico. Who had just came off of a great season the year before. Before the spring season, had just came off a great year. They had Stafford. They had CJ Bowler. They had another wide receiver. I can't remember his name, but they were loaded. I'm talking about absolutely loaded. And the game, and I'm never going to forget this game. The game that I knew Elliott Rotten should have got his pink slip is the Soul Bowl at Jackson State. The 2021 season. Let me tell you something. Chris Blair, thank you so much. No, Chris Blair wasn't playing at that time. It wasn't Chris Blair. He was already gone. Juan Anthony, probably Juan or somebody else. But let me tell you why. Let me tell you why he should have been fired. I'm in the crowd. Now, mind you, this that team, right? Hampton was on this team. The Bama at the Detroit Lions was on this team. Nugget is Nugget on this team. Like, this team is the Jackson State team is loaded, right? They had Alonzo Hampton, Nugget, Cornice Miller, all them guys was on this team. Man, Stafford Anderson is making these ninjas look like boys. Go back and when you get a chance, anybody get a chance, go back and watch that 2021 Soul Bowl at Jackson. Stafford Anderson is making Paho State look like little boys. It's so bad. And my wife, I'm telling you right now, my wife is my God forsaken with it. I'm sitting on Paho State side, right? You know, you got the bowl. I'm sitting on the Jackson State side. I got Jackson State fans talking about, oh man, why can't you tackle him? Tackle him. Hit him. Oh man, why can't you stop him? I'm like, what is going? He takes the ball out of Stafford's hand and wants to start throwing the ball around the yard. Starts wanting to throw the ball. I said, what the fuck? I'm like, my mind was blown. I mean, like, I had people at Jack State was like, yo, we can't stop this kid. Like, literally, they was like, man, we can't stop this kid. Stafford was running through them Bamas like it was Swiss cheese on on all wheat bread. All wheat bread. Running through them. Swiss cheese. Took the ball right out of his hand. And the game was way closer than this. If you actually watch the game, it was way closer than this, right? Because they went down and scored, I think, a touchdown like at the last 3 or 4 minutes or whatever. So it's really like 17-10 or something like that, right? Like the last 3 minutes of the game. But, man, I swear to God, I would have fired that white Bama so fast he would have had to file for like racial discrimination or something. I would have fired his ass so fast. It would have blew his mind. I would have what's that coach that got fired on the field? Herman Edwards? I would have Herman Edwards that Bama. I would have Herman Edwards that Bama right on the field. Soon as we walk off the field, your services are no longer needed. Your services are no longer needed. Because he literally called that game for them to lose. And I'm telling you, go back. They could not stop Stafford. He could have went for 185 easily. Couldn't stop him. But who won? And the thing for me is like, why Fred McNair is loyal to a white man, I will never understand. Why Fred McNair was loyal to a white man, I would never. Now, if that was a brother, okay, cool, Kai. Yeah. A white man? You loyal to a white man? If he was in the same position as you, he would not be loyal to you. He would have, if the alums would have went to Ellie and said, hey, man, we really like you, but, Fred ain't cutting it. He would have fired Fred's black ass so fast and got him another OC in there. Come on, man. Stop it. Crazy. So it is what it is, man. But those are just a few flaws I see. And Willie Simmons, okay, Willie Simmons had flaws. Listen, Willie was going Willie. And what Willie meant when I say Willie going Willie is because he gonna do what he wanna do. Like you're like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity to run the ball. Nope. 3rd and 1. A minute left in the game. I just gotta run the clock out. All goes. What? Why, Willie? All goes. Let it fly. Like, what are you doing? Why? Why are you doing that? Just run the ball. You know what I'm saying? Just run the ball. Nope, not Willie. Willie going Willie. You know what I'm saying? Willie going Willie. It just was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Goal line, second and 1, all slants. Willie, what is you doing? Like, that's the stuff that would just irk my soul. I'm like, Willie, dog, you got a 240-pound back just standing there like this. Why don't you just hand the ball off? Nope, all slants on the goal line, on the 1. I'd be like, why? Willie, why? I just never understood it. 3rd and 1. Flood. 3rd and 1. Bootleg right. Flood. I'm like, God damn, Willie, why? Just run the ball, Willie. That was my Willie going Willie. Like, that's, you just be like, but you had to live with it. You just had to live with it. 4th and 1. 4th and 1 goal line. 21 dive. Touchdown. If you would have done it from the beginning, Willie, we wouldn't even be here on 4th down. Like, that's the stuff. You're like, dog, you could have just did that from the beginning. 21 dive. Right up the gut. Boom. Touchdown. Oh, that was hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Why, Willie? Why? That was it. That was it. That was it. I'm talking about, dog. I just be like, what the world? Yeah, that flea flicker was probably the best, probably the gutsiest call I've ever seen in my life. Like, real talk. Like, in the situation, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, that flea flicker was legit. It was probably one of the gutsiest calls I've ever seen in my life. So, but only Willie. Only Willie had the cojones. You know why you got cojones that big? It's because you've been doing it all season. All season. He did it at the Swac championship. It's pouring down raining. We're not going to run the ball. Play action bomb. Play action bomb. Hey, Blue, this next topic, if you could call in, let me know. Please call in. I want to get your opinion on that. But that's just how Willie go, though. But that's just how Willie go. Nope. We're not doing that. Bombs away. Bombs over Baghdad. I hope Willie Simmons gets the Clemson job. Let me tell you, if Willie Simmons ever gets that Clemson job, I'm going to be in some burnt orange. I'm gonna be at what is it? I think it's called Death Valley, right? It's called Death. I think it's called Death Valley. Whatever Clemson. I want to do a Tiger Walk run. Whatever Clemson does, I want to be there. So I hope Willie does get that job because they gonna fire that white Bama. They are firing Dabo. They gonna fire him. You don't want to be in the transfer portal? Okay. All right. We'll get somebody in here who will. Okay. He out of there. So I hope Willie gets that job. Yes, definitely. Okay, what's called definitely. You know, sometimes I be off. You know, I don't know all these, these places. All right, before I move on to this next topic, I gotta talk about this. Okay, now this is my issue, right? People get on Twitter and they do stuff and then act like I didn't just do that, right? So, Black college experience. I'm sorry. Just the title alone is just it's irking my soul. Like Black college experience journalist. Like, okay, whatever. She comments she's commenting underneath the coaches, the SWAC coach headline by Lionel, right? She says he's PV, of course. He's biased to his school, but just like he is, many people are the same way. Lionel responds and says, there's a slight bias, but last year Willie Simmons was number one. That's flat out everybody. So she then says, slight bias? This is a whole lot of bias, right? Lionel responds. He says, nah, the top three could be swapped around, but Bubba would be among the three, and he's one of three that's won the division. So after that, she then responds, I'm not here to argue your opinion, but I'll stand on your bias. Ma'am, as soon as you got underneath the comments, you already was arguing. Like, I hate people who do this on Twitter. If I post something and you disagree with it, you've already started an argument. Don't try to duck and hide because your point is now mute because my boy Lionel put you in your place. I'm not here to argue your... Ma'am, you already started. Slight bias? This is a whole lot of bias. That started the argument. So what does Lionel then do? He explains to you, nah, the top three could be swapped around, but Bubba will be among the three. He's one of the three. And then this is what your butt comes back with. I'm not here to argue your opinion, but I'll stand on... Some people just need to stay off Twitter. If the kitchen is too hot, take your ass to the living room and sit your ass down. Don't hit me with some, oh, I'm not here to argue. Ma'am, what do you think you were doing? You can say, oh, I just commented it on it, but your comment preceded, you're a journalist, supposedly, right? Because everybody media but me. So I'm just, supposedly you're a journalist. Your comment preceded an argument, preluded, hope I'm using the correct words, preluded to an argument arising. So then don't sit in the back half and be like, oh, you know, like, hey, ooh, you know, I'm not here to argue. Ma'am. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Okay? Yes, you were. It's sickening. It's sickening. Preceded. Thank you. Preceded. Preluded. Preceded. Proposition. I don't know. One of them P's. Right? I don't get it. I don't get it. It be stuff like that. I'm sorry. I know y'all be like, damn, Scotty, like let people live. But that's the stuff that be irking my nerves when I be on Twitter. Like, it's the little things like that. I'd be like, what were you trying to do there? Like, why? For what reason? Like, people probably think about me like, they were like, Scotty, what needed? I had to show y'all like what be going through my mind when I be reading on Twitter. I'd be like, man. Now, this person, I don't even know how I saw this. She has me blocked on Twitter. That's a whole nother conversation at a whole nother time. Or if you've been here long enough, you know, right? So she got me blocked. So I don't even know, honestly, right? I don't even know how it even got there, right? Like, I'm like, I'm blocked. So I don't even know how I saw her name or whatever. I don't even know. I don't block nobody. Okay, that's my number one rule on Twitter. I will not block you, right? Unless you say some racist. If you say some racist stuff, I'll block you. I'm not on the monkey and all that. That's too much. But most people, I'll let you rock. Now I'll mute you. In a heartbeat. I ain't got time for that. But I don't block nobody because I don't want nobody to talk about some, oh, Scotty, you sensitive and blah 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 blah. Nah, you're not about to get me. You know what I'm saying? Screenshot me because I be screenshotting Bammers who be blocking me. I be like, oh, why you just mute me? You know what I'm saying? So that's my little 2 cents. I'm sorry. Listen, man. Don't do it. You know, it's just a cool shirt. Okay, it's just a cool shirt. Maybe I'm speaking into existence my patience. Maybe. Just maybe. Just maybe. All right. This is this is going to be a doozy. This right here is going to be a doozy, right? So I don't know where the NCAA and FCS and Group of Five goes from here, because when I tell you the NCAA is treating these conferences like a broad, let me not say, ooh, they're treating these conferences like side pieces. Let me just say that they're treating these conferences like side pieces. And what I mean by that is, you know, with your main, you don't want to mess up what you got with your main. So all the stuff your main don't do, your side piece do. And don't complain. Don't complain. She don't need the date. She don't need the fancy date. She don't need all the movies. She just want time. She just wants you. Oh, I just want you to spend a little time with me. I just want you to stop by the house. You know, NCAA pulling up at the FCS. NCAA pulling up at the FCS real late at night. You know what I'm saying? 10 o'clock booty call hours. Get what I can and I'm out. Get what I can and I'm out. Right? So I'm really just considering what is the landscape of college football going to look like at the end. Now, Pete Thamel said this, right? He said, news. The 22 non-FBS football conferences sent a letter to the NCAA this morning disrupting the proposed payment structure in the antitrust settlements. The letter viewed by ESPN proposes an alternative payment model, 60% paid by A5 as opposed to the current 40%. Now, 60% was going to be paid by the power 4 or power 5. So let me break this down just a little bit. So they're still considered a power 5 because they haven't officially dissolved the Pac-12. So all the Pac-12 members who have moved are voting as Pac-12 members on this house and the delegation that's going on. So when you see A5, it's really about to be A4, but the Pac-12 is really in the Pac-2 now and all that type of stuff. Anyway, so just kind of give you a heads up. So once again, I'm going to say it again. The Pac-12 members that have all left, they're still able to vote as of right now for this resolution. They're able to vote as a Pac-12 membership conference, okay? So I was intrigued by this, but this was even more intriguing. Shout out to Tom Wistrel. I hope I'm saying his name right. This is the Big Sky commissioner. And he said, in the upcoming House settlement, why are the Power 5 conferences asking the non-Power 5 conferences, G5, FCS, 1AAA, to pay for 60% of the damages when over 90% of the money will go to the Power 5 football and men's basketball players? Asking for a friend. Now, let me show you guys the document that Pete Thamel is talking about in regards to the pay. So, let me share my screen. Let me know if you go. That's hard to see. Let me see if I can zoom in. All right, cool. So, and you know what? Let me I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna share my entire screen so I can use my all right. So here we go. So let me zoom into this real quick. So this is the current. So when you look at the current at the top, right? This is what it looks like. And this is what the annual distribution and all this stuff and how it's supposed to work out and everything like that. Now, once you get down here, this is how much. See, if you see right here, let me get my pro mouse so you guys can see it. So right here is what the group of 5 is supposed to pay, right? Which is 66 million. So if you total all these up for group of 5, FCS, and AAA, this equals up to 60%, right? And once again, like they say, like 40% of the Power 5, but that's where all the money's going. So they reproposed a new layout, which is this. This is the new layout that was proposed by the FCA, the other conferences, that the group of 5 plays 58%, right? And the other conferences pay about 42%, right? So you see the non-combined 42% and stuff like that, which makes more sense because at the end of the day, they're not receiving most of the money. The toughest part about this, I believe, right, is do the conferences, my bad, y'all looking at my text messages, all right? Does the conference go? Does the NCAA go with the proposed agreement that they've already came up with in principle, or do they allow the restructuring of the other conferences to play a part? That's one side of it. The second side of it is, what does this look like going forward? Because when you read about it, they talk about the majority of the money comes from football and men's basketball. They don't talk about all the Title IX stuff. They don't talk about any of those things. They talk about the revenue sharing with these institutions and all this stuff that the Power Five is going to be able to do. What happens to FCS football? What happens to the Group of Five conference? And how does the NCAA manage the losses that are coming down the pipeline when it comes to this house versus the NCAA? Because it's coming. And from what I've been told, or not what I've been told, but from what I've read is, if the NCAA does not settle, they could be looking at you're talking about, they said up to 10 to 20 billion dollars of like a lawsuit, the antitrust lawsuit. So I keep saying this, and people will be like, Scotty, you can't do this, you can't do that. There's going to come a point in time, if it's not now or whatever, that if the NCAA does not come out of this hole, that I believe you're going to have to figure out a way to do your own thing, right? Because this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like to me when I read some of the stuff that I'm hearing. It's now truly become the Wild Wild West, and it's not even a sense of like a bad Wild Wild West in a sense. It's more or less like the parent or the person in charge has lost all their power, right? So now the NCAA is like, you can give all your people scholarships. Oh, you can give all your baseball players scholarships. We're not limiting that anymore. Oh, you can have 85. You can have all the people on your football team can do this, and they can do this, and you can have. It just feels like they're just trying to give in to make sure that they keep the power dynamic the same, and that it comes out to still be in the benefit of the NCAA, that they're underneath that umbrella, or the NCAA is the umbrella that covers it all. I just don't know if that's going to be a true faction in all this. Like, it is just so complicated. It really is. It's just so complicated. I'm glad that the conferences are stepping up their initiative to put on for like, hey, like don't bully us, right? Like don't spit in our face and tell us it's raining when we all know why you're doing what you're doing. It's not because of the lower level conferences. It's all because of the big boys at play that are now dictating the rules towards the NCAA. Like, y'all, I'm telling you, y'all can talk about the men's basketball tournament, but in regards to the men's basketball tournament, the NCAA is going to have to stop some of the distributions because of the payments that they're going to have to make. But where do most of those payments go to? It goes to the Power Five conferences, who are putting 4, 5, 6 teams per conference in the tournament. So if you're losing $1 million or $2 million in your distribution, but your conference is having 6 or 7 teams, are you really losing? But when you got an FCS conference where you're going one by one, and you're trying to keep people out the tournament, put them in low seeds and all this stuff, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I'm gonna keep saying it until the cows come home. Is it time to break away? Is it time to break away? Because we've all heard the saying. We've all heard the saying of believe it. When somebody shows you who they are, believe it. And I believe the NCAA is telling you how unimportant the Group of Five and the FCS is in totality because of just how they're moving. What's up, Perry?
Cousin Scotty, what's up?
Man, nothing, man. Just chilling, doing a show. You already know what it is.
Hey, I'm just falling in line. That's all, as they say.
What's going on? Talk to me.
What you pouring up?
Oh, just water.
I got the same thing. Look,
I about to say, you know me. I won't be doing nothing. I'll do nothing.
I'm drinking like Scotty with my pinky out.
Yeah, I do that.
I remember you used to eat the frosting with that butter knife with your pinky out.
Listen, man, I had to stop that. Dr. Lori is a dentist, and she was like, Scotty, you can't be. Yeah, she's like, you gotta chill. So I had to put that down. I had to put the knife down.
You had to put the knife down like you a surgeon. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because I used to eat it with a butter knife.
Yeah. Never seen a nigga do that before in my life. What's up, man? What we got going on here?
No, I'm talking about the conferences. I was talking about the conferences of what the NCAA has been doing in terms of the NCAA versus the House, and how everything is kind of working its way back down to the FCS and the Group of Five having to pay the damages, and then the FCS coming back and also saying that they won't be doing that, and they had a restructuring program. So that's where I'm at. This is my last topic for the night. Yep.
And what's interesting, I sent you something the other day about Conference USA. Do you still have that?
Yes, I do.
Pull that up on there for people to see and to watch how the ever-changing landscape of college football is changing. And you will see it clearly when you look at FCS, right? Teams like Sam Houston, Kennesaw State, those type of teams, Jacksonville State that are deciding to move up. And when you look at between the Sun Belt and when you look at between Conference USA, it has become a safe haven for teams that have decided to move up from FCS to FBS. And these conferences in particular, like Conference USA, has strictly survived as being the conference that a lot of these teams that probably would have been independent because they wouldn't have been able to find a home, they've been able to jump right into these conferences and find a home. And it's interesting to look at from 2001. This is Conference USA. TCU, University of Houston, Tulane, Southern Miss, University of Alabama, Birmingham, Eastern Carolina, Memphis, Louisville, Cincinnati, Army. That's in 2001. Now we're talking 2025, and look how the total landscape of Conference USA has completely changed. UTEP, Sam Houston, Louisiana Tech. Now let's look at the FCS schools, Scotty, because I think that's what's going to be interesting to the point that you're making of talking FCS to FBS. Because when you look at this, Kennesaw State is one. Liberty. Is that Delaware?
Yep.
Western Kentucky. Missouri State. Sam Houston State. This is starting to become a trend of when you watch these teams leave FCS. And one of the biggest things that I have when these teams leave FCS is it strictly for football? Is it basketball? That's the hardest part, Scotty, of what is it. But when I look at it, the rest of the sports, you're able to compete for a Division I national championship, right? You get the conference championship, you get the bid, and no matter the sport outside of football, you can go and compete for a championship. This is interesting, and what I'm really interested in knowing is, like, let's take a Missouri State who has a athletic budget of $20 million, right?
Yep.
Had a best season. I think they went 9-4, maybe 8-4 under Bobby Petrino. That was their best season since 1991 in football, and decided to make that jump up to then go to FBS. Well, if they make that jump and only had one winning season in terms of 9-8 wins since 1991, we're talking since the 90s.
Yeah.
What was so special about that one season? And let's take a Kennesaw State. Recently, Division I within the past decade, right? And been able to pass up schools who've been in FCS, Division I AA for 20, 30, 40 years. Jacksonville State is another team who we've seen consistently have success. Sam Houston won the national championship during that COVID spring season. But that's short-term success for these programs. And then when you look on the other side, let's take the Sun Belt teams like the Old Dominions, the Appalachian States, the Georgia Southerns, right? Teams that we saw have consistent success in FCS and were powerhouses for a long time. And even look at teams like in the Sun Belt that were powerhouses in the 90s and the 80s. When you go back and you look at like the Arkansas States, the Louisiana Monroes, take the Troys, right? What is it, Scotty, that makes them want to jump up and say, I want to go away from the playoffs. I want to go away from the FCS championship, and I want to move up to the FBS level. But when you move up to the FBS level, you can go undefeated if you're Troy, but you're not going to get an opportunity at a national championship. But if you go undefeated at FCS, you can play through a playoff and get to a championship. Ask North Dakota State. Ask South Dakota State. I think, is that South Dakota State or is it South Dakota? One of the two.
South Dakota State.
South Dakota State. So what is the enticement of moving up and going there? Is it the money? Do you get more money now that I'm playing these FBS teams? Now that I'm a group of 5, and then is the money more lucrative? Let's say when I go play at Alabama, when I go play at Georgia, when I go play Clemson, is it better now for me because I am a group of 5 team? Is there more money on the table because I'm not an FCS team? These are factors. And then when you look at the Swac, because take Conference USA. Conference USA obviously does not have a problem with switching and moving around whatever it needs to be to survive. Survival, it seems to be the name of the game for Conference USA. And they don't give a damn who it is. And if it means opening the door for new programs jumping up to FBS, they will give you the opportunity.
It's funny that you said that. I was watching HBCU Nightly, and I asked Josh, I said, why is it that when white schools move conferences is business, but then when black schools move conferences is about loyalty? I said, I never understand that. And and Josh broke it down to why their conferences, why HBCU conferences were starting and for what reasons and all that type of stuff. I'm like, yo, in my mind, and I appreciate his response because he didn't have to respond to me in the chat. But my thing is, today's day and age is about business. It has become, athletics has become such a business that either you have to get with the program or you're going to get left behind. And to me, that includes adding white schools into your conference. If that's what you got to do, that's just what you have to do. I don't see it to me. And I said this earlier. I don't see why you couldn't bring a Campbell over if Ncaa and Hampton are leaving the CAA like everybody else is leaving the CAA. Why not bring over a Campbell? Why not bring over those type of teams and build your conference up?
Because if I'm the MEAC, I look at a teams. Look, you talked about it last week. Teams leaving the CAA going over to the Patriot League. The Patriot League, one of the worst leagues in the conference. They're going over and they're making the property value up. If I'm the MEAC and I'm looking at teams, I'm like, look, I got a bowl game that everybody clearly in FCS wants a piece of. There's a payday, there's a national spotlight, and there's a championship. Now, if you're right, Delaware, well, who's one of the teams leaving the CAA going over? William and Mary, right?
Yeah.
I may not deem you Black College National Champion, but you will be the Celebration Bowl champion. You know the money that you're bringing in. I mean, even when you look at the Swac, this was a conversation that was had a couple years ago when you look at the alignment of the Southland, right? You had Sam Houston, who was a Southland squad who got away. You had UCA, University of Central Arkansas, who was a Southland squad who got away and started moving around. And you saw the Southland start to dwindle. The Southland then reached out to Prairie View and Texas Southern and a couple of other schools and was like, hey, you within our footprint. Why don't you think about coming to us? And it'll help you a lot more when you talk about travel. You ain't got to leave nowhere but from Texas to Louisiana. You ain't got to go to Mississippi and Alabama and Florida. But then at the same time, if I'm the Swac, You got schools in the same footprint. Do I go knock on the door of Nichols? Do I go knock on the door of Southeastern? Southeastern is literally 30 minutes from Southern's campus, about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours south from Alcorn State, and straight down 55 from Jackson State. It's literally in the footprint. And guess what? When they took on FAMU, who was the second best team in the conference, that year Willie Simmons had a team that was rolling with Bishop Barnett and McCray.
Yeah, and Rashawn.
Then they put a hurting on them.
Yeah, they got beat down. They got beat down.
Yeah,
they got beat down. Beat down bad.
So the question is, do I start to look at these schools and say, hey, I mean, because the business mindset is those schools have no problem moving around. And I know you want to pertain to say, well, it's a black neighborhood. We want to keep it black. But clearly, the white neighborhood, when you look at North Carolina A&T, and when you look at Hampton leaving the black neighborhood to go to the white neighborhood, does it strengthen your FCS conference? And then if I talk to them and I explain to them, look, you can have Southeastern had a really damn good team that year when they played FAMU. They had the offensive player of the year in the FCS, and I think his name was Cole Kelly. He was transferred in from Arkansas.
Liar.
White boy can spin it, right? But you know, as you get deep and take Nichols, who has won the Southland Conference for the past 2 years, right? Once you start to go against the flagship schools, the South Dakotas, the North Dakotas, the Montanas, right? Things start to change. The James Madisons, when they were around, because of the money that you get, then how do I present that to them to be lucrative in the Swac? Now, it may not sit well and settle well with a lot of people with having those conversations, but guess what? The Southland Conference didn't have no problem having those conversations with us. They knocked on the door of Southern. They knocked on the door of Grambling and Prairie View and Texas Southern and said, well, you're in our footprint. We're losing teams. We would love to have you. Why don't we go knock on their doors and say, look, we want to grow. We want to strengthen our conference. Because clearly the Patriot League, although, yes, it's a white league and you got teams leaving the CAA, but don't you want to strengthen your league? And sometimes that may not, in this new day and age of evolution, when you look at a college football landscape, does that come at something that make people uneasy to think of one of those PWIs potentially coming into a quote unquote HBCU founded company?
I think this is, I listen, I don't care what nobody says. You cannot tell me that a white school coming into the conference and dominating the HBCU conference would not look bad. That's to me, that's really what it comes down to. That's really what it boils down to. That if you brought in a Southeast Louisiana, if you brought in I don't want to say Campbell, but if you brought in a Nichols and they just dominate your conference, you know what I'm saying? It just makes your product look bad. It just does, right?
Does it look bad if, let's say, Ncaa or Hampton goes to the white conference and then dominate the white conference?
They haven't.
And even if they haven't, it's already still pushed them other schools out. They don't even care whether you dominate or not. They don't even want your presence.
To me, it's like if you're Ncaa and you go, if Ncaa went to the CAA and was third, just third in football. All the other sports, we get that you can be competitive, right? In football, if they would have came out third or fourth, I think that's a great look for it. That would have been a great look for Ncaa. Like, yo, we really them boys. You were dead. You have gone from being the big dog. Well, you weren't the big dog in the Big South, but you're the big dog in the MEAC. You leave the Big South, you get pushed around. You leave the Big South to the CA and you get demolished. Like, you didn't win a game in conference. All you won was against Norfolk. That's where your only win came from. So to me, I think it's a double-edged sword. Me, I think it's great business to go get a white school to, like, if I'm the MEAC, I'm gonna go find some schools to elevate my conference. Why am I trying to force programs? Like, I get Morehouse, they got the money. Okay, whoop-de-whoop, they can make the jump. But why am I trying to force Virginia State to come up to me when I can go find a conference in the FCS that is already on my same level and just, hey, come over here?
Let me ask you this. Now let's flip it all the way around. Let's look at these FCS schools that have made the jump to FBS and starting to look at Conference USA, like a Sam Houston, like a Kennesaw State, a Jacksonville, a Western Kentucky, a Liberty, a Delaware, a Missouri State. Now, when you start to look at the conference like the Swac, You have fan bases and programs that I believe that could possibly sustain or maybe have a brand name that you think could possibly go there. Now, the budgets, that's a whole nother story, right? But when you talk about brand names and you've been around for 100 years, right? Let's take the FAMU. Who tried this in the early 2000s? Mr. Campbell. I'll probably go crazy in the comments, letting people know the do's, the don'ts, and what went wrong, right? The Jackson State, right? The Grambling State, the Southern, right? 4 programs that have fan bases in the history that when you look at them, it's like the conference as a whole are holding hands, singing Kumbaya, trying to stick together. But a Jackson State, a Southern, and FAMU and Grambling ain't the same as an Alabama A&M, a UAPB, a Texas Southern, or Mississippi Valley. It's just not the same. Although they may have a long lineage and history of playing each other, there's a clear difference when you look at the type of energy that they get, the type of support that they get. Now, if there's one team in the Swac, and I will ask you this because clearly Missouri State, who's had one good season since 1991 in football, and they have a $20 million budget, which is $2 million more than Southern's, who's at $18 million, and had one good season and have decided to move up. If there was a team in the Swac, who would you think would be a prime candidate to say then with Conference USA being a safe haven, or let me use a rest haven for FCS to move up to FBS? What team would you think out of the conference would be a prime candidate to do so?
I would say FAMU.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Southern. Jackson's very iffy for me. Grambling definitely no. They don't got no money. I mean,
and I'm using Conference USA, but then also the Sun Belt. Both conferences are right there because the Sun Belt has been open arms to plenty of FCS schools making that jump to FBS, and they're all within the same footprint.
I mean, to me personally, I would like a FAMU Southern, in that, because I mean they already do most of this travel anyway. The only part would have been the Virginia, the Kentucky, and the Delaware. That's just ridiculous, right? But they were doing that in the Ncaa, so they kind of understand that type of travel. They've already done most of it, and like they're doing it now with the Jackson and Mississippi and the Louisiana, Texas runs. So it's not too bad, but to me, the reason why I'm always on I'm always on the boat of bringing a white conference to HBCU conference, because I don't think HBCUs assimilate very well to PWIs. So like if a HBCU like Ncaa, the fans, the alums, they don't want to be there. Like they don't want that white on black experience. They don't like it. They don't like it. Right? I think if you assimilate white to black, they still get what they like, which is they get the bands, they get the pageantry, they get all of that. And then now you might play 1 or 2 white teams, in your conference, whoop de whoop, you might, man, we gotta play them. You know what I'm saying? And you keep it moving. But when you got 8 of those, Perry, eight teams that nobody want to play, nobody care about the band, don't nobody care about the tailgate like that.
But then when we talk about the level of football, because then it goes back, do HBCU people really give a damn about football? Because listen,
never.
Let's just say if I take the Sun Belt, right? If a Georgia Southern or Old Dominion or a UL, one of those programs are a top 25 program, and let's just say I'm Southern and I join the Sun Belt, and I just so happen to have a top 25 matchup in Baton Rouge at my stadium. That's bigger than any game you ever hosted in the Swac. And let's be honest, if I'm a Southern, it's only a handful of games I'm really looking forward to in the Swac. It's Alcorn, it's Jackson State, and Grambling in New Orleans.
Your FAMU.
Not even really FAMU no more, because there's a disconnect in terms of what that rivalry was. There was almost a 20-year disconnect. And when you have almost a 20-year disconnect, you lose the true essence of what that rivalry was. Because 20 years, that's 2 decades of a lot of people not even knowing for 50 years, almost 50 years, what that meant to play a team every year. And I've seen it both ways at FAMU and in Baton Rouge. Now that this rivalry has renewed, it does not hold the same weight. It had that weight that one time in 2019 when Southern went to FAMU. But since then, it's kind of dwindled. And I've seen it in the Atlanta Football Classic in 2000, what was that, 11? Yeah, 2011, there was a packed crowd, but it's like a hit or miss. But imagine if you get a chance to get a top 25 matchup at your stadium with one of these teams who have the potential to be a top 25 team within that conference that you could possibly join. You get the television time as well as you got a fan base that can match any fan base in the country. Does that not then excite it? But then if it does not excite it, then you're constantly telling me when it comes to our sports, it literally is not about football. It's simply about a culture. It's simply about an atmosphere. And we'll never be able to move forward if that's exactly, or if that's the essence of what it is.
I've been saying that since I came into the space. I'm like, yo, it's not about the football. And you be the one arguing me down. Scotty, we don't need to be about football. It's about
I've been with you because I've always said when it comes to black college, as much as we talk about our athletics,
yeah,
the hard reality is our bands lead the way more than our athletics. And nobody never really wants to admit that. Don't have no band show up to the football game and let's see what happens. Because the first thing they want to know is your band coming. Let a home game be for any team and don't no bands be there. Let's watch the interest. We know it's all about the cultural experiences. But how much entrenched are we into knowing about our football programs, knowing about the conference? How informational are we about knowing about the different football teams that we're playing? Right? When you go play that white school, they know everything about your school. That's why they not even take you serious, because they done looked at what you did in your conference and your history against them. That's why they want to know is your band coming, because they don't take your football team serious. And when you get there, you only ready to get up and cheer whenever the band play. So that is the thing about it. At what point for us is it going to make sense to realize how important the actual sporting event when it comes to supporting that sport more so than the event as a whole? Because we make events out of the classics. The classics are not about the football game.
It's about everything. It's about everything around the football game.
Thank you. It's not about the football itself. If it is about the football itself, you only care when it's a big play. That's other than that. Because if it was about the football, you would show up more than just the classic. You would be at the home game before the classic. You would be at the home game after the classic. And I'm not talking homecoming. But I think the vast majority, when you look around the Swac itself, if it ain't a homecoming or a classic, attendance is pretty tough. Take a Thursday night game. Why are we not at Thursday night games? Take a Saturday game. If it's Grambling versus Texas Southern, how many people at that game?
Nobody.
I mean, but it's a real conversation to have. And for me, I think the harsh reality is people never want to truly give the bands in our conference, because the bands, I think, trump the athletics as much as we want to give the athletics. There's a reason ESPN said, let's do a battle of the bands the night before the Celebration Bowl. There's a reason why you got a battle of the bands going to LA. There's a reason why you got the Cracker Barrel battle of the bands in Houston. There's a reason why you see all this big money going into battle of the bands. I can get 5 HBCU bands and put 50, 60,000 people in the stadium. I can't get 4 HBCUs one weekend and get 50,000 people in a NFL stadium. Let's say we had an HBCU football weekend. I would literally have to have Jackson State, FAMU, Southern, and Grambling in order to make that a success. Am I lying?
No.
If I had UAPB, Texas Southern, Alabama,
nobody showing up that.
Alcorn, would that be a success?
It might be 5,000 people in that joke. Might be 5,000 people. But listen, at the end of the day, like, that's, to me, and if people are talking about, like, the white teams don't do this and white teams don't do that, it's to me, it's like it's about the football, right? It's like that's why I rock. That's why I really like the MEAC, because for the MEAC, it's always about the football.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have their band, but it's about the football. And to me, when you bring it to the SWAC, it's everything but the football. And like when I first got into the space, I was like, y'all bragging over attendance, like not who won the game, not who's winning championships. You're bragging because we lead attendance. Like that doesn't even register with me. But then you'll end up losing to a white school and you're in on the same division level as you, and but you lead in attendance though. And that could be for any school who wants to talk about attendance. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. First of all, at the end of the day, I just believe that the HBCU conferences should open up to white institutions, because I look at it like this: how you're watching the landscape of white institutions opening up their conferences to get you, but you're not willing to open yourself up to get them. Like that doesn't. I'm not understanding the logic. They see the value of just getting a team. Like, hey, we know Ncaa can't play with us in football, but we're going to grab them. Ncaat's competitive in everything else. Ncaat's competitive in baseball, basketball, bowling, whatever. I think they do bowling in the MEAC, though, but they're competitive in every other level but football. Hampton, the same thing, right? So there is value. It's just not in football.
Because if we don't reach out to a white school, I mean, guess what? All you got. The only thing you got is to uplift a CIAA or an SIAC school to hopefully think that they can make it. Like, let's just take a Tuskegee, right? Who's been a traditional power for years in football, who has beaten SWAC schools numerous times. But guess what? Regardless of what they've been able to do, they can't afford to do what we do on the FCS level. You got Miles, you got Albany State, you got Fort Valley. Look at these schools. Like, if there's a school to pull up, but see, those are the schools that we waiting to pull up, like the MEAC did with Savannah State. Savannah State played, I think, MEAC ball for a year or two, had to go play Ohio State. Was getting their ass whooped by everybody. ESPN, I think, did an article like, man, it's really bad what this school has to do just to survive, right? It's not even worth their while. And after they got their ass whooped so many times, they said, you know what, I throw my hands up.
We're going to go back to the D2.
It just makes sense. This is too hard to survive just to maintain. Now, a story that I want to talk about that I really don't know a lot about was like Morris Brown. Now, the backstory of the days of Morris Brown was the SWAC voted not to elect Morris Brown to become a member. But Morris Brown, I think, played as an independent Division I AA school for a season or two. So they kind of shopped themselves around, playing Bethune-Cookman, playing these other schools, you know, all the way around, just getting opportunities. I think they played Southern, some other schools, you know. They had the footprint to be what you consider SWAC in the Atlanta metro area. But the thing is, what is it going to take? And I would really like to see a school, and I'm going to take my own school, Southern. I'll take another school, like you said, FAMU. And FAMU tried this in the early 2000s. I don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong. But I would love to see those schools, because the landscape is completely different now than what FAMU tried to do in the early 2000s, because the group of fives didn't make it so welcoming to come into their conferences the way that you see now. Look at this Conference USA. Count how many FCS schools or formerly Division I AA schools that have simply made that home. And then the SWAC commissioner at one time say, us as a whole, as a conference, is looking to make that jump to FBS so we can get more bowl games as a conference. Wasn't that a statement made by a SWAC commissioner?
Yeah, he said it.
Even the athletic director at Southern came on the show with me on the Jaguar Journal and said within 5 to 10 years, the conference, the SWAC as a whole, is looking to make that jump to FBS. The window is this small, and it's about to get even tighter. It was big about 5-6 years ago where you had an opportunity.
I don't think any HBCU school can make the jump and survive in by themselves. That's just my person. I think Ncaa can, because I just think that they're one of those. There's one of those cousins to where they like hanging with white people. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Hampton. Like, doesn't mean you'll be good or great. You'll just be there. You just be in the midst. I think like true SWAC HBCUs, like they won't survive. They won't survive. Like, they won't like it because it's not about the band. It's about football. And when it's not, when it's not about the band, it is what I'll tell you this. I think the only school that comes close is FAMU, because they love football. They love football. They love their football. And they do love that little band with the twirling of the jacket and all that other weird stuff. But they do love their football. I think that's the only other school that could really make it work, that when they if they made that jump, that they could survive somewhat. They like this treading water. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we here. But
one of the reasons why I say Southern, because when I look at this, and I'm going to continue to use that, because I look at the state of Louisiana. The state of Louisiana is filled with FCS schools, the Northwestern states, the Southeastern, the McNeese, the Nichols, right? But Southern has literally played every FBS school in the state. Louisiana Tech, UL, Tulane, LSU, ULM. Imagine when you can start to get the lot. If you move up, then Louisiana Tech can come to you. UL, imagine a Southern UL game in Baton Rouge. I don't care what nobody say. That would be a big game. You open your eyes now to opportunities of these come. Now, I'm not going to say ULM, Monroe is going to show up. I'm not going to say Tulane is going to show up, right? But if you can get a Louisiana Tech, or you can get a UL to come to Baton Rouge more so, then guess what? We go there every time and pack their stadium out, and every time we go, we set an attendance record. We just set an attendance record at everybody's stadium in the state of Louisiana, perhaps maybe outside of LSU. But if you get to open your doors and get those teams to come to you, and maybe UL is a top 25 team, maybe Louisiana Tech is a top 25 team.
I don't know how many times y'all could be okay with going to play a white school. They
love to go there.
It's to me, and I'm gonna take 3475 and Coach Green. I see y'all. I'm gonna get to y'all. Give me 2 minutes. My thing is, it's cool every once in a while, right? But if you know year in and year out, the only team that's gonna be on your schedule is probably Grambling, and because you probably gonna have to pick one. We might have those two, but your Bayou Classic ain't gonna be in Thanksgiving. It ain't. That is gone. That game gone.
Yeah, take it out. It's okay.
Come on, Perry. The
money is far greater now, because remember, the Bayou Classic, we don't even negotiate ourselves to get the full potential that we can get out of that game.
It's not even about the money anymore, P.
What we're talking about then?
Listen, I'm rocking with you, right? But
you playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, you gotta. Okay. I'm looking at it from an HBCU lens glass.
I got you.
No more Thanksgiving. No more Bayou Class. 50 years of tradition gone down the drain. Like, bro, like it's you will have pandemonium, straight pandemonium. And now the Jackson game is going to be your out of conference game. Whoever you decide, it's either going to be Grambling or it's going to be Jackson. Which one of that's going to be your out of conference game? But at the end of the day, you're about to start listen, that thing is about to be a war.
Sometimes you got to leave things behind, and hopefully you can keep up. And luckily, Southern with Grambling and Jackson, those are two programs that I think if you want to make the move, you have said, hey, we can do this together. We can take our brands on the road, because look, we're not Valley. We're going to have to leave Valley behind. We're not Texas Southern. We're going to, with Prairie View, Alabama, we'll have to leave them behind. Even I think Alabama State has the potential.
Oh, yeah, they definitely got the money. Oh, yeah, they definitely got the money.
But in certain schools, you just got to say, look, man, we got to leave them behind, man. Like, how long? I mean, it's been 50 years, 60 years, 40 years, 30 years. We all ran that same race. Things are starting to change. It's like when you're in the neighborhood, sometimes you outgrow your old friends.
But in HBCU, there is no outgrowing us. You can't think about how they treat Ncaa. Think about how they treat Ncaa. Ncaa and Hampton be like, man, we've outgrown you. We feel we're bigger than this. We want more. And all they get looked at is like in despisement, like it's like, oh no, they don't want to be one of us. They don't want to do this. There is no outgrowing an HBCU conference.
Well, that's because they're still in the FCS landscape. So you're still basically in the back door of the MEAC country. So, but if you move up, big boy, if your money talk. FCS, I mean, you leaving the MEAC to go to the Big South, then to go to the CAA. It's like you just moved around the corner. You didn't move to the next neighborhood.
Oh, man, let me take these calls. 3475 coming to you, then Coach Greg coming to you.
What's up, Scotty?
Hey, what's up? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Ricardo, calling from Atlanta.
Talk to me, Ricardo.
I think the thing that you're really talking about is scheduling. You don't have to change conference to schedule a game. And that's what to me, your argument is. You want to play white schools. I'm going to give you a little history. Back in the day, the white schools would not come to a black school. So there was you could play Southeast Louisiana, come to Southern or Jackson one year. Until the last 5 years, they would not, they wouldn't travel both ways. Then they did a survey about 2 years ago. I think Game Day did a survey. They did the schools out of the MEAC, and they did Tennessee State. They did all the Tennessee State teams. They played schools out of Tennessee, Martin. They played Tennessee Tech and something else. And they did Elon and going against Central. The white schools didn't travel to the black schools. So there was no money making for the black schools. But the white schools got a big boost when the black schools came to their camp. What you're talking about is scheduling, not about changing conference, because it doesn't matter. It's who you play that year. If you want to play a white school, McNeese, can you come to Jackson? McNeese, can you come to Southern? Lamar, will you come to Southern?
Can I give you a pushback here? Can I give you a pushback? Because I think the main thing is not relying on those teams and their fans to come make you money. The whole idea is your fans and your people
to pack out your home stadium.
Pack out your home stadium.
Thank you.
That's the HBCU mindset that we're waiting on the other fan to come because we look forward to that pageantry.
No, you're not listening to what I said.
The classics have.
You're going to turn out for your game because it's a big game for you. But the thing is, they did not come to you.
Dog.
You don't need them to.
Nichols never came to Jackson.
Sir, it does not matter.
Them to. Nichols never came to Jackson. It does not matter. We always went to them.
It does not matter. You're not hearing the point. The point is, okay. Let me tell you, Ricardo. You brought up they would come to the school and they wouldn't bring any money for our institution, but we will go over there and we will bring money for them. What Perry is saying, which I have said from day one, is why do you expect another team to help fill your stadium? That defeats the purpose. Sir, you just said it. What do you mean you don't? You just said it. They
didn't come. I didn't say that we needed them. We couldn't get. We couldn't get if you play FCS to FCS. Nichols wouldn't come to Jackson. Nichols didn't come to Grambling. Just started playing. Northwest.
I got your point. That point, I'm not. Listen to what I'm saying. You have a hard time understanding.
Okay.
You brought up.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. You brought up the white schools would come to us and they wouldn't bring anybody, and we would not make money.
No, that's not what I said.
You said that. You literally just said that.
That's what the survey said. They did a report. They said that when the teams out of North Carolina played the teams in North Carolina, when Tennessee State played Tennessee Martin, they played Tennessee Tech. They got bigger crowds for the Tennessee Tech when the black colleges went to the white colleges. There was nothing reciprocal about that. What I'm telling you, down in the area that I live, down in Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, those teams would not come. They would not play us a home and home.
They're playing it now, though.
Now.
In the last 5 years.
Let me show. Listen, I wrote down what you said. You said white schools wouldn't travel to HBCUs. I got that.
Yeah.
Listen, then you did a second part to your statement. You said when they did come, they wouldn't bring anybody. But when we would go over there, we would make them a lot of money. My point is this.
That was two different.
That
was two different regions.
No shit, Sherlock. That's why I'm focusing on your second point. What are we talking about?
You didn't hit my point.
I just
two different regions. You talking about the North Carolina schools. Tennessee State played teams up there. North Carolina played teams home and home up there. They didn't play the home and home down in Louisiana.
I gave you that, sir. I already. Listen. I don't know how. Like, you Bamas do not freaking listen. I gave you that point. I said, okay, I get the fact that they never traveled to you. I get that. I gave you that. But you, sir, made the point that when they did finally come to HBCUs, they would not bring anybody, and the money was not the same when the HBCUs would travel to the white schools. My point that I'm trying to make to you is on your second point is that is not a logical reason when it's your own home field advantage. Pack out your own shit. How hard is that? I listen very intuitively and I understand exactly what you said. My point is on your second half, and that's an excuse that you're making, Ricardo. Oh, they wouldn't come and bring money. It should not matter. Pack your own shit out.
That's not what I said. What I'm saying is there were two different regions. You had the North, you had Tennessee region, you had the North Carolina region. They did things. They had home and homes. You did not have home and home in Louisiana, Mississippi.
But you're talking about back in the day, and I get it. But even when you look at it, even when you go back to it, just let's look at lately. Prairie View. Prairie View has played Sam Houston, Houston Christian, Lamar, Nichols. You look at here in Louisiana, Grambling has played Northwestern State. Southern has played McNeese. Southern has played Northwestern State. I mean, even when let's go to Alabama. Didn't Alabama A&M say they never going to Northern Alabama again? Alabama State has played Kennesaw State. I mean, you have these programs interchanging, playing each other. My whole thing is, regardless of the fact, pack out your own stadium. Stop worrying. See, this HBCU landscape has got us so, because we look at the classics. The classics relies on two fan bases to pack a stadium out. But outside of the classic, it goes back to the former point about your own home game. That's why when you look at the previous days of the Southerns and the FAMUs, when you look at their stadiums, most stadiums say that's the visiting side, that's the home side, right? When you look at the Southern and the FAMUs, it ain't no visiting side and home side.
It's our side.
A visiting section, right?
Thank you, Ricardo. Bye, Ricardo. God, listen. Like, for real, man, that mindset is so stupid. And I swear to God, I hear it from so many HBCU fans, especially from Jackson State. That's what really sets me off, because you can feel it. For 60,000 in unison, and you still expect people to come and pack your shit out. I don't understand it. Grambling didn't bring nobody. FAMU didn't bring nobody. Like, why should it's your home stadium? I
don't give a damn if they don't bring a band or nothing. It's a home field event.
Oh my God! Listen, if the crazy thing is, all you ninjas watch Power 5 football, and you would be absolutely out of your cotton picking mind if Auburn brought more fans than Alabama at their home game. You'd be like, yo, what the hell is this?
Did you see what Texas a few years ago did to LSU? They put LSU band and they fans at the highest point of the stadium. I'm talking about a corner at where the satellite sit. They don't give a damn about you. Notre Dame, look at Notre Dame. They won't even give your band a seat in the stadium. You got to stand on the sideline. Go back and watch go look at Notre Dame game. They don't even give your band the respect to even get seats, because them seats paid for. You got to stand up the whole time on the sideline. This is the mindset that we got to start looking at, but we cannot, because it's as traditional, has always taught us we want them to come over here so it can create this atmosphere.
It's crazy.
That's when you let you know it ain't about football.
I'm telling you, if you never got a chance to go to FAMU, I'm telling you right now, FAMU does not play that, bro. It's just FAMU. It's not like it's a traditional football stadium. Like when I went to the Swac championship in the rain, PV had a little V in the far left side of the stadium, about this big. Everything else was orange. Everything else was orange.
Everybody else stadium, they say this is the home side, that's the visitor side. They need to come fill up their own side. You fill up both sides. Market your game and get your fans in there. Don't be worried about what the other team and they fans and they band. You so happy to see they band marching to the stadium. Why? You so happy to see they fans come in droves. Why? When that could be your fans coming in droves. You can get 40,000 of your fans at the Magic City Classic. Where's that same energy to get that 20, 30,000 to come to your own game right down the road in Montgomery?
You don't make
and I'm just using that as an example, okay? So Alabama State don't feel no type of way. A&M, come on. How you can fill up A&M, go to Birmingham the way that you do, then you got home games right up the road in Huntsville and can't put nobody in the stadium.
Nobody. Coach Green, coming to you.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Chilling.
Good. Hey, one thing I wanted to push back on, something you was talking about, Scotty, when you were saying the HBCU conferences need to open up for the white, basically MEAC or SWAC. You might be talking most about MEAC. Open up for a white conference. Only thing I'm going to push back on, I have a hard time believing a PWI will want to be in an HBCU conference more than an HBCU wanting to be in a PWI conference. Because some schools, because I could go back to GCAC. You know, GCAC used to be filled up with some white schools, but they left because they didn't have the voting power that they wanted. When it came to voting for certain stuff, for bylaws and all that, they will always lose out because Xavier, Suno, Dillard would vote together, so Tulu would vote right with them too. So they will always lose out when it comes to that. So they all left the conference, and that's when, you know, GCAC was in trouble at one time. Cause all them schools, William Carey, all them schools, Spring Hill, all of them just left the conference. So I don't see a PWI coming to the conference because they ain't gonna have the power that they would like to have.
Okay, well, I mean, you don't know until you ask. I mean, that's my whole thing is you don't know who's willing or able to do so until you ask. You don't know if Lenore Ryan wouldn't mind coming up to be in the into the MEAC. I mean, if you want to go get a D2 white school that has the money to jump up instead of trying to beg and borrow and deal, you know, Savannah State and Virginia State and making them one to jump up, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's to me, all I'm saying is just ask. Just ask. Like, send out the invitation. Like, hey, Lenore Ryan, hey, you know, Campbell, hey, Coastal Carolina. You're like, you know, would you be interested? You know what I'm saying? It's the Citadel. Like, would you be interested? Like, you know, we already playing y'all anyway.
Valdosta State.
And they help your football profile.
Yeah, but like, you know, like I said, now they don't mind. You know, now time they don't mind playing us, but being with us is a whole different animal, because you got to think about a lot of it starts at the top with the president and plus the alums with the power and the power of the wallet. They don't. Some of them people don't want to be affiliated with HBCU conference.
Listen. You could just like. The transfer portal is kind of like most HBCUs are now considered full-blown JUCO. Let's keep it real, right? So they're JUCO, they stops. They go to. You can use the MEAC and HBCU conferences as stopping points. Like if your goal is to get to a certain conference, or if your goal is to get to the FBS or whatever, you come in, you do your 2-3 years, you win, you do whatever, and then maybe you move on to another conference. Like,
and stop looking for that loyalty of yesteryears. The college athletics ain't about loyalty no more. It's about money. And I know everybody, because of so many years, you want that loyalty, you want that camaraderie, you want to walk hand in hand. But it is showing you the landscape is changing, especially with the athletes. The athlete's not even giving you loyalty no more. The athlete will come to your HBCU, have a great season, and transfer up out of there. It's no longer about that loyalty that you're looking for the yesteryears, and that's what the first thing people gonna come on here and say. Well, back in the day, I get back in the day. I grew up back in the day watching this.
I got to push back on that. You can't really just say HBCU. They treat HBCUs like JUCO. That's a problem in all FCS football. If they play well enough, of course,
but we're
going to leave
FCS
football to play.
Dog, I hate when people. That's semantics, my guy. Like we're talking about HBCUs. We're not talking FCS. But if you want to say FCS, they still include what? HBCUs, Coach Green. So that's semantics. That's semantics.
It is. I agree with that. But I just wanted to make that part clear, though. That's all.
I just don't want him to say the word HBCU with that, but it means the same. In particular, we're going to discuss the HBCUs, but at the end of the day, the game has changed. The game is completely changed in the evolution of what these student athletes are looking for and what college athletics is looking for. Those yesteryears that we're looking at in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and for some of y'all who maybe even before that, the day is over with of that. Athletics is completely changed. And see, the fact that we cannot let that go because the first thing somebody come on here and say, well, back in the day, it's 2024, and I get the respect that you have for back in the day, but this day and age no longer holds back in the day no more. This day and age is either you get with it or you get lost. And if you get lost and wait till 10 more years and you ain't caught up, you're going to be really behind the 8 ball. You think we behind now? This the way this thing is study evolving. If you don't even remotely try to get with the program within 5 to 10 years, it's going to be worse than you ever thought it'd be. That's why we're making the point that at some point, you got to get with the program and at least try to evolve with the times and try to elevate, because now more than ever is the opportunity now. The landscape is completely about to change, and it is already showing you across America that it's changing, whether it's FCS or it's FBS.
Yeah, I get it, but the only reason I was saying what I was saying, Scotty, when I said all the FCS, because it was necessary for you to understand it, because I know you understand it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I was just saying it out loud because they got other folks that's on here, because people like the school that you don't really mess with. Mr. School was being put out.
No, I get
and
it.
They'll twist your words or what you talk about.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
So that's the reason I put that out there.
No, I appreciate that. That's fair.
Because they got some people out here misunderstand stuff, man. No. So that's the only reason I said that. But I get a chance to find out how another conference works. So I learned a lot in the GCAC, but I get a chance to find out something else.
Go ahead. Yeah, enjoy your time at Edward Waters. All right, Coach Green, appreciate the call, man. Tradition is killing HBCU football. Listen, I can't fully jump on board with that, because every school has a tradition, right? Like every school has a tradition. The only time your tradition is, to me, the only time tradition is a bad thing is when it stops you from growing. Like you're so worried, like, oh man, if we don't do this, then it won't do this, or if we don't do this, we can't have that. And I just think that it limits your mindset. If tradition limits your mindset on what's next, or you planning for the future, I think it's definitely a detriment. But I won't say tradition is killing, because there are just things that tradition brings that makes people happy. I mean, like,
let's look at tradition in the SWAC. All right, I'm not going to talk about the MEAC, the SWAC. Tradition outside of your rival: Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Florida A&M, Bethune-Cookman, Southern Grambling, Jackson State Southern, Jackson State Alcorn. You still got 10 other games on the schedule. Do you give a damn about those 11 others? So how much tradition? Because although you've been in a conference with Mississippi Valley and UAPB and Texas Southern for how many X amount of years, you don't show up to see those teams no matter how much you talk about tradition. You only show up for the teams that matter for homecoming and the teams that you know for sure, because guess what? You know they gonna bring fans to you, right? And that's all you showing up for. But if it's really tradition, where are you at for the every weekend game? Every weekend game should matter. That's the tradition. So as much as we say tradition, that's just a word that we use. But our attendance level ain't because of you showing up at every home game. Because look at the games, y'all not. Our tradition are classics. That is traditionally what has set HBCUs aside from all these other schools and these other conferences. Us being able to go into these large venues and base two fan bases and hope that they bring two big crowds based off their bands, their Greek life, their tailgate, and everything that embodies the game. That's what we look for when we talk about the traditions. But that tradition ain't a weekly occurring thing. It's a every other event thing. And it has to be an special event for you to be able to say, oh, that's tradition. Because when UAPB in Alabama A&M playing, I don't care if it's in Pine Bluff or Huntsville, what tradition is that? When Alabama State and Prairie View playing, whether it's in Prairie View, Texas, or Montgomery, what tradition is that?
Yeah, yes, fair.
Grambling and Bethune-Cookman, what tradition is that? These are real questions.
Just listen, people don't want to have this conversation. Leaders that are using the underfunding of HBCUs as a shield for the lack of innovation is killing HBCUs. That is a whole thesis in itself. Bobby, coming to you.
Man, what's going on, Scotty and Perry?
What's up, man? It's way past your bedtime. I'm like, wow.
Man, I still got this 2-year-old running around, so I'm not sleeping no time soon.
All right, talk to me.
But I just wanted to go back about when FAMU made the jump, or attempted to make the. They made the jump for a season, and we jumped right back down. A lot played a role in that because the administration and the head football coach were not seeing eye to eye, and they made a decision for the football team without consulting the coach, which caused FAMU to lose like 22 players late summer. Because at that time the rule was if you transfer from a D1A school to another D1A school, you had to sit out a season.
Yeah.
So that's why Willie Simmons was never a Rattler. He got caught up in that. So it was like a terrible time. But competitively on paper, FAMU looked good because that was a time when we were beating Georgia Southern, we were beating Troy, we were beating teams in the playoffs. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think if you fast forward to today with today's rules, if we were competitive against our non-HBCU counterparts, it would be an easier transition up than what the rules were, because of what the rules are now versus what the rules were then. Just, just the way it looks now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we could do it. Well, we would just have to really focus on football, like y'all boys are saying. Have been saying the whole time. Like, focus has to be on being competitive.
Got it. That's
Scotty, put on there what Mr. Campbell said, talking about. He said, I think a couple
Nick
of
Saban. Right, Nick Saban.
The thing about that, and I'll say something to that real quick.
Thanks for the call, Bobby.
The thing about this is, if you're going to say they don't show up, I bet they still bought that ticket. I bet regardless if you see an empty seat in the stadium, I bet that empty seat is paid for. Because I can tell you personally from LSU, I done been to when LSU to play Utah State and the fans out there in the state and around the tailgate trying to give the ticket away. The ticket paid for. Or they just won't go into the game. They just stay out there. I'm not worried about Utah State, but I got 2 tickets. You know how many times I've been just given tickets because I'm at a tailgate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I go hang out at LSU because I'm in Baton Rouge. But where a ticket is just given, that ticket paid for. That ticket ain't just an empty seat. That ticket been paid for. Regardless if they show up or not, the money is accounted for. There's a total difference compared to when Alabama A&M and UAPB playing. Them tickets ain't accounted for in that stadium. Them tickets ain't paid for. Them tickets just simply unsold.
Yeah.
So there's a whole world of a difference when you want to say, well, do they show up against Vanderbilt? And don't discredit Vanderbilt. They got money too.
My thing is, to take it even a step further, is at the end of the day, it's the coach holding the fans accountable. Like
more than anything,
he has an expectation of his fans because of the winning that they do to show up for these players.
The winning that they do.
The winning that they do.
There's a product that needs to be supported.
Come on.
And it's not lackluster.
Come on.
I'm marketing, telling y'all that we have something to sell and it is of value. We got to take that serious as well.
Listen, you get Mo Williams did it, right? When he was at Jackson in basketball, he said, it's not good enough for people just to kind of show up when they want to or not show up and support. You have to show up and support. There has to be more coaches holding the fans accountable to showing up, because if he was losing, you would want him out the door.
And you'll be all over social media running your mouth about how sorry we are.
Come on.
It's always when people say, you'll say everything about the negative, but when it's the positive, when I'm giving out free stuff and helping the community, you don't say nothing. But the moment I get into one little bit of trouble, you share that nonstop.
Yeah.
It's our mentality.
It's tough. It's tough. So I just think like it's a great example, but at the end of the day, it's him holding his fans accountable.
And a lot of our coaches and athletic directors stick their head in the sand and don't even want to step out there to even promote stuff. They don't even want to be seen in the limelight. They just want to stay in their office. They just want to coach games. They miss the whole point of the idea of selling a program. You got to get out here, knock on doors, and kiss back. You a politician. You are the face. Why do you think you get paid more than anybody on that campus? You talking about we don't have money at HBCUs, right? First thing we say, we low resources. But who are the highest paid people on the campus? Your athletic department people, particularly your football coach. That's typically your school president, your AD, then it's your football coach, who is the third highest paid person on that campus. But you say, well, we don't have no money. We low resource institutions. They don't, we have all these issues. When you're the third highest paid person, or maybe the second highest paid person on that campus, you're supposed to be the face. You're supposed to be putting in the work. And I ain't just talking about X's and O's and winning games. I'm talking about you are a face that is supposed to get out there and market the fuck out that school.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting paid to do, but we don't hold them to that expectation.
Nope.
But that person is making more than any professor, any dean, any vice chair, anybody that's on that campus. But this head coach is making all of this money.
And gets to sit in the back. Don't show his face. Don't do interviews. Don't do this. Don't do that. And just make all this money. Yeah, nah, I'm not. Yeah. Shout out to Herb. He said, Herb says it starts with the product on the field, but coaches not only need to hold the fans accountable, but the school has to market that product better. Absolutely. James, coming to you, 8411.
Hey, I think the problem is that, like just what Perry was saying, is that our ADs really do not promote the game. Okay, let's take Tennessee State. They're in Nashville, a major city. But when they went into the conference, the white conference, they really wasn't promoting season tickets. Perry's right. It's not the responsibility of the visiting team to fill the stadium. That should be filled by your home base. You got years of tradition in Nashville. You got over 100 years of tradition in Nashville. Why aren't they selling out the stadium? Really, FAMU is really not selling out their stadium. And one thing I will give FAMU credit for, they have a strong student tradition of going to the game.
Yes.
That's it. Yep. That's it.
To the game. We've had that tradition since I was there in the mid-'70s. They will show up to the game. We used to show up to the basketball games, but they've been so bad for such a long time. I'm talking about 20 years that but we have a strong tradition. When I was up at FAMU, the gym used to be packed when we were playing basketball. But we just had bad luck on selecting head coaches for the basketball team. But it's the responsibility of the local team to promote the city. I mean, you have the sororities, you got the Divine Nine there. You know, how many times had the AD visit the Divine Nines and say, hey, can y'all buy, 50 tickets or whatever, season tickets and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So they can bring the children and stuff like that. Have they been visiting the churches? You got major churches in those areas. Can you buy 50 tickets and season tickets? See, so Barry's right. We're not, the ADs are not promoting the game locally. It is not on the business team. Now we've had a tradition. That's how we've made our money, because we've had these games like the Bayou Classic, and I know FAMU used to have the Orange Blossom Classic, so it depended a lot of times on the visiting team bringing their people down. So you had Circle City and stuff like that. But yeah, we got the ADs got to get out there and promote it locally, and that's our problem.
Hey, Mr. James, you are preaching, man. Appreciate the call.
And that thing about the thing about the student. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Because I was going to go right there too, and I like what Mature Mickey says. He says you have to make it a part of the culture, from freshman orientation, parties, events, to come to the games. Let me tell a quick story, and I'm gonna let you finish, Barry. I was watching, somebody cut up a snippet of somebody from Paho State talking about how they stole Gramblin's don't Jay, how they stole it. He said the band director saw Gremlin do it, liked it. He brought the students down to like a public area and literally taught them before the game how to do it. And then it's been a tradition ever since. So to me, it's one, is somebody having the vision, two, putting it together, holding the kids accountable, because you build bonds like that, right? Like when kids go to the games and going together as a group of friends or whatever, you build bonds like that. So it needs to be a lot more of that, of teaching how to be involved into athletics. But go ahead.
I watched the video the other day. This guy that he goes to different schools, and he kind of it's mostly about him meeting the females at the school. But he went to the University of Missouri, and there's plenty of schools where they have these pride nights. And I ain't talking to LGBT. I'm talking about cultural pride in your community. You go there, they teach you all the chants, everything you need to do to be prepared for that game, right? I can tell you personally from when I was at UAPB during the short time that I was there. On Saturdays, students went home. It wasn't no going to tailgate. You had maybe just when I say not even a handful, a fingerful that would tailgate, that would go to the games. But for the vast majority of them, they didn't give a damn about no game that weekend. Friday evening came, they left and went home. Why? Because the tradition was not entrenched in them to make it seem like this is what. See, it starts with your student, because guess what? The students are the ones paying anyway. That ticket is accounted for.
Yeah.
But you need those fans in the stands, because that's what creates the atmosphere. When you have the students there, that's what the next generation of the young people looking at. That's your next generation that wants to mimic the cheerleader. That's your next generation that wants to mimic the band. That's your next generation that want to say, when I grow up, I want to play for this football team. That's your next generation that when they look over at their student section, I cannot wait till I'm a student.
And I'm over there doing that. Yeah.
That's it. It's the cultural aspect of showing up to the game, supporting your team, and being a part of it. It's the same way even with showing up to the game. I have always preached, and I preached it at Southern, about training your students when they're freshmen how to be alums. You can't just expect me to go to school for 4 years, graduate, and then to just know how to be an alum once I leave. Because I'm going to tell you, most of the times through my experiences, by the time I'm graduating, I'm ready to get the hell away from here. You know what? I'm ready to chunk the deuces. You can swear me into an alumni federation or association all you want. Okay, you can tell me I got 1 or 2 years for free all I want. But you didn't engage me my entire years to teach me about alumni. You didn't bring me over. You didn't bring me to networking events. You didn't show me internships. I had to do that on my own. And I've always said the same way, that culture of building students to get that understanding of why to go to the game, teaching you to chant, more than just teaching me some little dance or shuffle. Teach me everything I need to know. How many of y'all know y'all alma mater in your fight song? Because I know when I go over here up the street, I hate to use these white folks as an example.
Mr. Campbell using them all throughout the chat. Might as well. No.
Well, let me go up the street. You play that alma mater, that fight song, hey, that means something. All we do, we throw that one up in the air. We don't even sing along with it. We just got that one up. We just hear the band playing and got that one. And then we just dun at the end. Okay, all right. Then we cheer. How much do you really care about the pride? And then the same thing with the alumni. So many of us, because remember, HBCUs give us opportunity. A lot of us come from backgrounds where ain't nobody ever donated no money to nothing. So what do you know about giving back?
Yeah.
Your family ain't probably never set up a tailgate at a game a day in their life or bought a suite or did none of that. So how the hell are you supposed to know how to do that once you graduate?
Yeah.
It's my job to teach you that as an alum. It's my job if I'm the alumni director or alumni president. It's my job to do that. If I'm a local chapter president, let's say if I'm in Dallas or Chicago, it's my job to come down there and figure out where my Chicago kids at. Because I remember at one time when you was in school, cities and states had their own clubs.
Clicked up, yeah.
You had the Chicago club. You had the Memphis club. You had the Atlanta club. And all of those people came together and that was a club. You had the Houston club. Everybody from Houston went to that meeting and they was together. Because it was something we don't have that no more. But that's where you build those traditions and that legacy and that pride. But we ignore it because we be looking at all the wrong things, Scotty. We pay attention to all of the wrong things more so than what builds. We talk about these are Wakandas. How do you build a Wakanda? It's community-based. How do you build a community? You bring people together. Instead of just let everybody be an individual. They used to say it took a village to raise a child. Where's our village at? And I think that even makes more sense more than ever before with our HBCUs. That is the village of educated people who have degrees, who are supposed to be somebody, the who's who amongst us. That is the village. But do we care about that village these days? Do we care about that community? Or do we just care about how many students we can get and then whether they graduate? We don't care about their customer service aspect. We don't care about how we treat them. We don't care about their experiences. We just care about ourselves. And that's why I always tell people, my loyalty would always, Scotty, last and be with the institution, not the individual.
I think, Wake, I'm gonna come to you right after this comment. Herb makes a great point because I'm Maryland through and through, and I can't stand Duke. He said we DMV folks hate Duke basketball, but they're a perfect example of what we're talking about tonight. Part of it has to do with the product. The other part is the incentive for students. Listen, that Cameron Stadium is like a high school gym. Let's just call it what it is. Cameron Stadium, that's where Duke plays basketball.
And they were kept out for 2 weeks.
Dog, for tickets. But the crazy thing is, the Cameron Crazies is a real thing. Like all that, they don't sit down for the whole game. They're jumping. Listen, the thing is, at these HBCUs, you could have that. The only thing is, I hate to say it, I just can't see black people doing it. Or let me say this. I'm sorry. Yes and no. I keep telling people, when in Rome, you do as the Romans do, right? When black people from HBCUs go to Power 5 football games, they don't sit down for the whole game. You can't. You'll look like the idiot. You'll look like the fool, right? Like if everybody's standing up and you're sitting down, you will look like the fool.
You got to drink the Kool-Aid.
You got to.
Texas A&M will have a whole practice the night before with 15,000 students in there learning that 12th man chant.
My thing is this, but when you're at an HBCU and you're the only one standing up and everybody else is sitting down, then you're the fool. Right? That's how it is. It just is. When in Rome, you do what the Romans do, and that is what it is. And I've seen that time and time again. When you want to get up, I'll tell you this. There is probably 2 instances that I've seen chants, like legit standing up chants. Now, Jackson State will tell you we do it all the time. They're lying only on big plays. The only one of FAMU is one of them, and Howard University is the second. I went to the Howard NCCU game. They had a whole section of grandmas and grandpas and old people with cowbells and yelling defense. I said, man, if that could be translated to all of HBCU, and I said it on a platform, I said, Howard needs to sell cowbells. I said, because that lady by herself should have made them a fortune. If more people can get involved like that, you would have a ruckus of an arena. Even I'll tell you this. Let's say Alabama State gets FAMU for homecoming. People ain't gonna stand up. But if I pass you out cowbells before the game and you sitting down going, it's still something. It's still something. That's my issue. Let me get to Wake. Wake, coming to you, then Mr. Campbell, you're next.
Well, Scotty, so I've been listening in. I'm just going to throw out some ideas. And this is about marketing. It's about creativity. It's about innovation. We really, they say the more things change, the more they stay the same. But it depends on how you shine the light on it. And there needs to be a new light on different things. So, and I mentioned this to you, it was just a while back. I was sending a bunch of ideas to you or whatever. So I'm looking at the marketing aspect of the ticket. We need to make that ticket just as valuable as the ticket that people scream about on American Idol. Where there's something exciting when you buy that ticket. You have to provide something different other than the game and the band because you see that all the time. Well, what can you bring in? Well, if I buy that ticket, let's say if it's a chance where every quarter there's a contest where there's a sponsorship from Verizon. One person every quarter wins a 6-month or 1-year free phone plan and a phone. Let's say you got 2 sponsors, whereas the local grocer, you buy the ticket, one person every quarter wins $250 for that quarter. Where everybody got a ticket, when you come to the game, you're going to have a chance to win something. It's putting excitement in the air. There's a NBA teams do it. You always go to the game with the aspect of winning something because you got their ticket. It's more than just a game, it's the excitement around it. To where we have real estate around the stadium, where in Cleveland, they're starting to put sponsorships on the parking lot. Fantastic idea. You looking, they're putting sponsorships on the stripe of the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Creativity, innovation, and all that needs to be applied to the environment because we have a lot of real estate that is going unnoticed. With most big schools, they have a marketing department outside of athletics that raise the money. That's where it comes from, and donations and merchandise. Now, I also blame the Swac, but I also look at the schools. That merchandise should be something valuable to be put on. So let's say you connect with all your local sponsors and say, hey, anybody buy this shirt, Swac shirt, Jackson State shirt, Southern shirt, you walk in on a certain weekend, like a day before the game, just because you bought that shirt, you got a sponsorship with the local grocer, you get an instant 10 to 15% off because you got that jersey, that shirt. That's the kind of thing you need to start putting in the marketing aspect of where you put this on, you buy this ticket, there's a benefit is more so a benefit of achieving something else beyond the game, but you get people excited because they got something of value in their hand. It takes stuff like that. And you need to go to a marketing department or even third party outside of schools to help tap into that and educate the people at the games. It takes that. And I don't know why the schools don't tap into that.
I agree with you to a certain degree, Wake. I'm going to say this and let you go. I think I would do that for season ticket holders to make season tickets more valuable, not the individual game ticket.
Sure.
I would just promote it as it is, but appreciate the call. Listen,
and do a better job to market your players so people can get to know them and make them superstars in your community and make them superstars to the business community. You know, I use this example. I always got to bring it back to where I'm at, right? Jordan Lewis won the FCS Defensive Player of the Year. The first Swac player to ever win that, and we didn't market shit about it. He wasn't on no nothing. Now, I don't give a damn what you thought about how he played. He won the award. That's on everything. Leonard Tillery is the Swac's all-time leading rusher. Barely 30 years old, if that. Don't market him on nothing. You got to correct your superstars. There's a reason why I can go to an LSU. Look, y'all gonna get sick of me tonight. But these white folks show you shit. There's a reason I can go to an LSU Auburn game and see a 20-year-old girl with a Bo Jackson jersey on. Never seen Bo Jackson play a day in her life. But it's just the excitement that you create behind Bo Jackson, that it's a legend to her or to him to have to wear that jersey.
Yeah.
Do we create our own legends?
Nope.
We forget about them in 3 years, like they never exist. Devontae Kincaid is an absolute legend at Grambling.
Man, it should be jerseys all up and through Grambling for Devontae Kincaid.
All up and through.
Yeah.
But Devontae Kincaid.
Yeah, that's that's facts. That's
the man never lost a Swac game.
I give me a Kincaid jersey. I ain't gonna lie to you. I like Kincaid.
I'm just using how many other guys that we just simply have forgotten about.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, just literally like, who is that guy? And I mean, I can go through some guys on here and folks be like, I never saw him. I don't know who that is. You got to create your legends. You got to create your excitement. You can't wait on the local news, the paper, the news media outlets. You got to pump that student out to where you got me psyched out thinking he's some superstar.
Yeah.
That's how the community gonna base behind him. That's what's gonna create the excitement for the fans to come watch him. And that's what's gonna make the NIL and the business community. Because when you make this guy seem like a superstar, whether he is or he not, you're constantly pushing him and pubbing it. But you're not pubbing that. So I get to the game, I'm like, I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
Who is that guy? Really? Seriously. Until we learn how to market our own people and create our own, you got to create your own superstars. You got to market your own student athletes. Other than that, nobody gonna know.
Listen, I've been on that bandwagon for the last 2 years. I'm like, Bishop Bonnet should have had a jersey. Marquise Bell should have had a jersey. Don't even get me started with those. Akil Glass should have had a jersey from Alabama A&M off the rip. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Who else just off the cusp of what I've seen of my couple of years? If I'm Jackson, I'm damn sure have a Shador Sanders jersey or just a 2 or something. I don't know.
Alcorn State, every quarterback they didn't have, from John Gibbs Jr. to Lenore's Footman to
have a jersey.
Noah Johnson.
Ooh, a Ricky Weeks Southern jersey. Oh, that'd be cold-blooded. That would be cold-blooded. That's a good one.
And you know me, I want a Ladarius Skelton jersey. I mean, it is what it is. Artillery, a Willie Quinn,
yeah,
Austin Howard,
yeah,
Danny Johnson. I mean, I'm just naming Southern.
Yeah. What's it like? Then you can have a Legend Edition, right? Legend Edition with
Quincy Richard, Thomas Ricks,
all of them. You know,
Brian Lee,
all of them.
I mean,
if I'm Savannah State, I'll be selling Shannon Sharp jerseys like ain't nobody.
Why you not? Everybody should be at the game in a damn Shannon Sharp jersey.
Boy, God,
and all the legends that Grambling has produced. I mean, Grambling should be just anybody you want. Just close your eyes and pick. You got a legend. UAPB, you got LC Greenwood. You got Teron Armstead.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice jersey should be going out like hot.
You know what I'm saying? All them jokers. Robert Mathers jerseys. I mean, if you brag about all the legends that listen, if you don't see no other jersey in Alcorn, it should be a McNair jersey.
Oh my God! Everybody, just like Bo Jackson, should be wearing a McNair jersey.
If you're a part of HBCU anything, you should have a McNair jersey, right? Like it's just certain things. It's just like duh. You know what I'm saying? So But I heard like the Moneric State is weird with that stuff. But anyway, but I'm just saying if it's possible, make it happen. Mr. Campbell, coming to you.
Look, man, you guys are doing a great job. I'm not calling to be serious, but I want to talk about something you talked about, going to white stadiums. As you say, we in the Romans do as the Romans do. I'm going to tell a quick story. I've been to every SEC stadium, been to every ACC stadium, half the Big Ten.
But I'm telling you, me and my partner, when we had a sports ace, we went to the Notre Dame Tennessee game. It is 101,000 rednecks in there. And the only people black are the people whose parents who got kids playing on the football team. So you got 100,000 rednecks. And to your point, so we just sitting there watching the game, right? You know, we watch the game and everything. We ain't got no dog in the fight. You know what I mean? But let me tell you something. When Tennessee scored and them rednecks looked at us and started singing Rocket Top, bro, we were like, Rocket Top, Tennessee. Oh, Rocket Top, hey, Rocket Top. Rocket Top, Tennessee. Bro, you have to sing it, bro. And you feel that shit in your bones. It is just crazy. And me and my boy was sitting up there like, did we just sing Rocket Top with these rednecks? I said, we sure did. We're going to get the hell out of here and be safe. Bro, we were singing that Rocket Top. So I'm just letting you know there is a difference when you went up there because we were all, like I say, what was so funny, when the other black people, they were like, who you related to on the team? We were like, no, we ain't related to nobody on the team, bro. We just here. We representing a couple people here. And stuff. So I'm just telling you to that point, yeah, you got to get up at those games. But that's just the difference, man, on those things. But other than that, you know, everything that you guys are saying is correct and stuff like that. You know, Perry, I agree with you. You know, I just do have to say one thing. It does hurt me when I hear you say we don't care about football because this is a generational thing. Because I didn't come up in it. Because I'm going to say this real quick. I am going to say this part. When I was in that stadium, when Jerry Rice was playing all corners, 63,000 people in there, they weren't there for the bands. They were there for the football. They were there for the football. When McNair played his last game against Jackson in that stadium, nobody was there for the bands. They were there for football. So I grew up in an era where people, I mean, the boom was the boom and world fame and something, but I grew up in an era where you actually came to the football game to see good football. And that's the thing that really hurts because we've lost that. And Perry, you talk about that, but I do want to say that there is a group, and I think, again, that do care about football. I care about football. I don't care shit about the band. I don't play in the band. You know what I mean? It's good that they play and all that. But I want, and this is my biggest thing, I always want us to get better players because when you have better players, more people start caring about football. That's just a fact. So until we improve the players, people don't care about the band. All right, man. So y'all got a great show, man. Appreciate y'all. And like I said, keep doing your thing.
Hey, appreciate it, Mr. Campbell. Hey, listen.
Improve the players, meaning improve the quality.
Yeah.
Improving the quality of football is what this is all about. The average person who actually listen, and let's be real, Scotty, have this honest conversation with me. The people who truly like football, and I have this conversation here with people all the time, and it's apples to oranges. I know, comparing SEC football to Swac. But a lot of times, or vast majority of the time, when you're watching Swac football, is it not like watching high school or just like maybe a step up just a little bit from high school football?
That's fair.
I mean, to be honest, really.
You know what's crazy to me? Yeah, let me say yes. The thing for me is this, and this is the part that bothers me. It comes down to the coaching. In my personal opinion, I don't think players just do dumb stuff just to do dumb stuff. I really believe it comes down to the coaching, and I'll tell you why. You saw it with Willie Simmons. Willie Simmons was just X's and O's better than everybody. Like it was just flat out, and I keep showing it over and over. I would show you on film over and over how he manipulated, how he did what he did, how he set stuff up. A lot of it is coaching, and I'm not saying that I am saying a lot of these coaches cannot coach. What I'm saying is that you can't always say, okay, he's black, give him the job. Just go get the best guy, because if you go get the best guy, it's better for your product. Now, is the best if he's a white, I eat all corn, going to get the white Bama and dominating, right? Like
Jay Hopkins,
right? Like Jay Hopkins, like you just go get the best person, and then it helps your program. Don't get a guy because he's black and he's black and we got to give him the job, and that to me, that's Terrence Graves. That's Terrence Graves. Like, he black, he been here. Okay, let's try him out. Where you probably could have got a guy from Division II and who has won something, who's shown a history of winning, and you're like, you know what? Let's give him an opportunity. Let's try that, right? Like, it's all that. But then here comes the Deion effect, right? The Deion effect comes in, sweeps the nation. Now everybody wants it microwave. Like, oh, we need to win tomorrow. We need to win right now. So it's a lot of that that processing that's going through. So to me, it starts with the ADs, then it starts with the head coaches, and then the talent of player, because you can't tell me Lenore Ryan is getting better players than Benedict. Like, and Lenore Ryan kills Benedict, right? You can't tell me that Incarnate Word is Houston Baptist, right? Is getting way better talent than Prairie View, and they mollywop Prairie View. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like they had one kid that was drafted on that team. What about the other Bamas?
And Prairie View goes playing a SWAC championship.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's that's the type of stuff that sets me off. It's McNeese isn't head and shoulders above Southern. Like, it's not. But it comes down to coaching and putting the right people in place for the right things. And
you got the same kids. You recruiting these kids who all played on the same teams, come from the same schools in the same neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Because these ain't the LSU kids. These ain't the UL kids. These are all what you consider the undersized kid who cannot play FBS level, correct?
Yeah.
Or the hand-me-down kid that's coming from the FBS level who couldn't get no playing time. And I got to add this. How long are we going to continue to be so excited about the hand-me-downs? The transfer where he didn't get no PT, didn't have no stats coming from where he is, but the first thing we ready to do, well, he was a 4-star out of high school.
Yeah.
When we going to start to take that guy for the face value that he was? If he was that true 4-star out of high school,
he wouldn't be here.
Leave that shit where it's at. Oh, yo, former 4-star is committed to transfer here. Like I think I saw today, Prairie View got a quarterback that's a former 4-star. Transferring in from somewhere. I saw it. Did you see that?
Where?
Lights on Sport today had announced Prairie View got a quarterback today. A former
and ain't never seen the field, know where he been.
But it may should have put that 4-star. Now it creates excitement. Leave that 4-star shit where it's at. Go look at that guy's stats.
What stats?
Oh, okay. We gotta stop putting that hype, because guess what? As much as we be talking about, we don't want why we going to these, we don't want no white folks in our conference, and we don't want to go to no white conference. You showed praise when he come from the white school.
It's sure enough. Sure enough.
He came from Alabama. Oh boy, we got that running back from Alabama. North Carolina Central just got a kid, a defensive back.
A DB, yeah, I saw that too.
Oh man, we got a kid from Alabama. Guess you praised in Alabama, but you study saying how you don't give a damn about white folks in their conference, and you don't want to join them, and you don't want them, but you would sure put them on a pedestal when one of them kids come from that school to come to your school.
Sure enough. And give them every opportunity to fail too. Give them every opportunity. Put them on the field right away. You know what I'm saying? All type of stuff. But all right, man. Last point before we get up out of here, man. I don't want to keep everybody up past midnight. I know it's an hour behind for you, but
well, I don't know. I came in late on this tonight. Maybe we can do this again this week or whenever, if you would like to.
Yeah. We can definitely make this happen. Let me say this. I think to keep talking about and Reese, I got your text message. Reese showed me I think A&M has this thing called Influxer where they put their players and you can buy their merch it's weird. Like let me click on it. Like
market that shit nonstop, Alabama A&M.
Yeah, so like you can buy a Alabama A&M product that has that kid's name on it, or it is certain. If I'm being honest, it's kind of I wouldn't pay $42 for a A&M brand and then his name on. Like I'm not paying $42 for that. That's not worth it. It's not worth it. So like give me something more innovative. You know what I'm saying? Like give me something that speaks to the kid. Like the kid had a play in just something more of the kid involved in it. Because I've bought anytime a kid has promoted something, like I bought the Adrian Maddox, I bought his shirt. I had Akil Glass when he did his stuff, I bought his shirt. I got Andrew Body everything around here. I got, you know what I'm saying? So I like supporting the kids' stuff when they do stuff, but just give it more, just give it more context or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I did in Paris, I did see Jack State. They got like a jersey deal where you can buy a kid's jersey. Like they got Jacoby and Morgan and a couple of those kids that
I'll still be selling the shit out of Shador Sanders jerseys, boy. I'm talking about. I don't give a damn if his ass gone or not. Shador and Shiloh, just Sanders on that jersey, bro.
Yeah.
We'll be making so much money off that. I don't give a damn if he here or not. The Houston kid.
He gonna be like
Aubrey Miller. I mean,
yeah.
We can do this in a whole another time, another day. I understand though. Don't get me started though. Man. It's just.
Well, we'll revisit this. We'll definitely revisit this. But
you talked about some other stuff that I saw here that I was very much interested in. So
we'll bring it back. Maybe you'll text me when you're available and make it happen. So yeah, I mean, because you be going ghost. I'll be like, what? You be going ghost. Keep me like, did Perry text you about a show? I said, no.
I called you this weekend.
You called me? I didn't get that call.
I called you. It was either Friday or Saturday.
I had a baby shower on Saturday.
Look, you'll see me call you. You'll see a missed call from Perry White.
Friday. You called me Friday.
I called you Friday. So I figured you didn't call and text me back. I said he busy. And then I didn't see.
Yeah, no, I was hella busy Friday and Saturday. I had to set up everything for the baby shower and stuff. It was crazy. So
yeah. So when I didn't hear back, I just said, man, he busy. So I know how stuff go. I just was like, I'm cool. But then when I saw you on here tonight, I said, oh hell, what's up with it?
Just text me. Oh, I would love a James Houston Jackson State jersey. Oh, that'd be fire. That's a marquee. Listen, it's. Let me tell you, it's a few players I want a Bishop Bonnet jersey, a Marquise Bell, James Houston.
Sean McCray. Hey, somebody said something to me. Somebody said, what was the guy? Go up, something true. Somebody said something about me. Said, I'd be a little off subject, or he's.
Why are you not doing it, Perry? Oh, I'm sorry. Perry, no harm intended, but you are so off base. Sometimes it's easy to throw this stuff out. But talk about real application and implementation.
They pay people to do applications and implementations at your school, don't they? The truth. I'm on here to give you the inspiration, right? Regardless of the fact, the conversation has to start somewhere. Now, if you don't like it, we talked about networks. We done talked about marketing. We done talked about student involvement. We talked about fan engagement. I mean, hell, can I not bring up the ideas?
I gotta implement them too.
Shit, you want me to do it all? I don't even get paid.
We're not even getting paid for it, right?
They paying somebody to do that, my brother. So maybe if I say it loud enough and Scotty say it loud enough, maybe it's an idea that never was talked about in a room in which those who do get paid can say, you know what? Maybe that's a good idea.
Maybe it's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's all you can hope for in these days. But people don't want to.
Damn, you gave me the people's elbow across the back of my damn head. Shut up, here.
All you do is talk. With the implementation at.
Follow my own. Hey, I do the best that I can to promote and do everything else. Don't I come on here and still promote? Catch me football season when I'm reading out stats of motherfuckers that you don't even know about, but I'm giving you their stats.
Facts.
So I'm just saying.
That's facts.
I'm trying to implement and I'm trying to add some application to the process, brother.
Oh man, let me get up out of here. I haven't ate. All right, listen. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, Perry. As always, thank you, my brother.
Thank you, man. Let's sit with everybody. What's your time looking like tomorrow?
I'm
busy.
Nah, come on.
Okay, I'm down to do something if you want to do something.
Yeah, let's text me. I feel like Friday, like come back, right? Like come back here. You know what I'm saying? Text me in the morning when you wake up and be like, hey, what time works, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Listen, until next time, you know what I'm gonna do. I'ma holla. God bless. Now he just dipped out on the screen, left me all. Come on, man, that ain't even cool. He said, see how black people do? I should hit like, see how niggas do? He just dipped out the screen, left my screen half full and gone. Boy, I tell you, boy.